are back for the SCC, and guess who we have here? Nihal's coach, Grandmaster Srinath Narayanan. We really missed you, Sri, all these days. It's so good to see you back.
Hi, Soumya. It's also good to be back. I have also missed you and the chat. Good to be back, and it's almost like Nihal is keeping our channel alive. He went all the way till he went all the way till the finals in the Global Chess Championship as well, and here in the Speed Chess Championship. What an amazing match against Anish.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That was such a great display of fighting spirit by both of them. I mean, kudos to both of them for giving us such a show. And today, of course, Nihal plays Liren, and he has already beaten him once in the CGC, as we saw, and we could say that he is a favorite for this match as well, because Nihal is nowadays known as the Speed King, along with Hikaru. I mean, he's one of the biggest specialists in online chess. So definitely rooting for him today as well against a world class player like Ding.
Absolutely, absolutely, Soumya. It's going to be so far. I think the Speed Chess Championship has been thrilling in almost all the matches, with the exception of those involving Magnus and Hikaru. Now, can't really blame Magnus and Hikaru for spoiling the fun. They have to do what they do. But apart from that, it's all been very closely fought matches going till the last few minutes. And I have a feeling that this match is also not going to be an exception. Ding's not going to make it easy for Nihal. He has already lost against Nihal once in, I think, what was a surprise. And there we have the games which has started. Quite a few moves there. 2 minutes into the match already. And I guess Nihal has begun with the Caracan defense, right?
Yeah, he has. And
All pawns and no hope.
absolutely. Nihal is black in the first game. Let us remind the viewers that Speeches Championship is a set of a few games, about three, which will be played in 3 hours. So there'll be three time controls as well: 5+1, 3+1, and 1+1. So right now we are in the 5+1 section, and we are expecting to get about 8 to 10 games in the 5+1 section, before we can move on to 3+1, and then there's about half an hour to 45 minutes of 1+1.
By now, you've become a complete expert on the Speeches Championship, no, Soumya?
Yes, I'm totally enjoying this format, Shri. I mean, I must confess it's such a thrilling format to even watch as a viewer. You there are so many ups and downs, and you can't really predict the outcome of a match based on the position, for sure, because so many things are about time management. It's not just about the position on the board. So and there are so many games as well, right? Yesterday in Anish's match, we saw about 25 games played out, and they still had a tie. So that, I mean, these kind of I mean, you can never predict which way it's going to go, and that's the fun of it. So I'm really enjoying it.
Absolutely. And there we have the player's camera also on the screen. Ding, I think he has a very nice painting, or is that a virtual background, Soumya?
Yeah, I think it's a digital photograph of perhaps some place in China. It looks really nice, well lit, and
That here you go. Here is your first question. Where what is the background in on Ding's camera? That's your first question. Meanwhile, do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Otherwise, I'm again going back.
yes, now you're forced to. You have to like it, chat. नहीं तो श्री हमारे साथ ज़्यादा देर जुड़े नहीं रहेंगे. And D Sandeep says thrilling. Yeah, for sure. People with cardiac issues should stay away. Yeah, good point there, Sandeep. Good advice by Dr. Sandeep.
Right. Meanwhile, Nihal was just rubbing his eyes when we came on today, and reminds me of today morning. I had a chili cheese sandwich,
Mm.
and I made this big mistake of doing the same thing, rubbing my eyes. And then I
Oh
had to
my.
close one of my eyes for the next 30 minutes.
I mean, chess players can be really absent-minded. Like, we see time and again chess players regarded as one of the intelligent humans, and them doing all these things which you are taught as a 5-year-old not to do because they are so absent-minded.
I know, I know.
I also do this sometimes. Like I'll have a glass of water in my hand. I would have filled it already, but I'm thinking about something, so I'll again fill it, and then it spills all over. Like these kind of completely ridiculous things.
Yeah, yeah. Chat, what's your story? And meanwhile, what's going on in the game, Soumya?
Yeah, I think so. Basically, let's just show the opening a little bit since they are thinking because we started midway, they started really fast. So I'll quickly go through the opening moves. E4, C6, D4, D5, E5, C5 खेला निहाल ने. So knight F3, C into D4, knight D4, knight C6, knight into C6, pawn takes, bishop D3 and E6. So this bishop is locked in, but it can, I guess, come out from A6 or even C5.
Yeah, you don't
And
even need to play A5 in this position to play bishop A6.
yeah, in this exact position, that's true actually. It's a nice point. For example, let's make a move. And what Shri is saying is that black can simply play bishop A6 because queen A5 comes with a check and attacks the bishop as well. So that's why white plays castle and knight E7 on the board, knight D2 and A5. So he wants to go bishop to A6 and then knight F3. Sorry about the arrow there. Bishop A6. That's not the way a bishop moves. Bishop into A6, rook A6 and C4. I think somewhere around here we started watching the game, Shri. And Nihal played knight G6, C into D5, C into E5. This was the exact position. And he plays H4 here, ding. So trying to dislodge this knight and create problems with black's development. So H5, bishop E3, bishop to E7, H4 pawn को attack किया हमने, G3 and castle, bishop D4, rook C6 and knight E1, F6. And this was the position we were watching, but they've already played a few moves here, Srinath. So actually with F6, he gave up the H5 pawn, Shri. And what do you think of it?
Um,
Because
White spaces are just not into the game yet, and I think that's probably what justifies this pawn sacrifice at the moment. The rook on f1 a bit stuck, the knight on e1 preventing the rooks from being connected, and for the moment, the knight is also not quite into the game. So I think there are two points where black can. I was expecting Nihal to take knight takes e5 and some mass trades. He has already taken that, or
yeah,
yeah,
he did changes.
everything taken. And here, the problem for black is that the white knight from d3 will defend both the weaknesses, f2 and b2, which initially I thought were weaknesses that black can target, try and get compensation against, but that knight on d3 will hold it. So I'm not exactly sure how black gets compensation, but there certainly seems to be compensation looking at the evaluation bar.
So in fact, Nihal found a really nice idea here. He doesn't go for the attack on the B2 pawn, but he plays E5 and he wants to control this knight. Rook D1 and E4. अभी ये knight ना D3 जा सकेगा ना F3 and next so probably he has to go knight G2 because the knight cannot stay on E1 forever. And rook D6 was played. excuse me, and knight f4. So he actually managed to activate it, but slightly longer route. And now d5 pawn is weak, and I think Nihal is considering
Knight
what.
d5 is actually a threat.
This is the.
So knight d5 is actually a threat, and rook
Sleeping.
e8 saves it, because after knight d5, rook d5, queen c4, black can defend that rook with rook e5.
But we
But
can't.
on the other hand,
Oh,
yeah, well
yeah.
pointed out, Soumya. Well pointed out.
And that's what he goes for. I think he missed it.
Yeah, Nihal clearly missed that white can take with the rook. A very clever idea by Ding. And with that, Ding has taken the early lead in the game.
And
Nihal, yeah.
But Nihal has been yesterday.
Wow.
Oh, this is such a nice move. What a pretty resource there by Nihal. He just sacrificed his queen because that was literally the only way to continue playing a decent position at least. Oh, knight g6. Ding भी काफी बहुत ज्यादा alert.
Yes, but now Nihal has things defended for the moment, and there could potentially be an attack on the f2 pawn that can get nasty for Ding. So he goes straight after Black's king, knight f8, king h8, and he's not able to find the knockout blow. Is knight e7 a move here? Yes, knight e7 is the move, because bishop e7, there's queen f5 check. Otherwise, now it's checkmate. Queen e8, queen g8, queen h8, and it's checkmate.
That's a very nice win by Ding there, but Nihal also equally resourceful to find these rooks, the queen sacrifice. There is no time to analyze because the next game has already started. Good win by Ding there. But you know, Srinath, Nihal का शायद ये usual है ना, starting में he takes some time to get adjusted to the format. Yesterday, because against Anish also I noticed the same thing. So is it
Completely. I remember these some of these older movies, Soumya, where, for example, there is this movie called I think The Way of the Dragon with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris, and I remember Bruce Lee would just get a lot of hits in the beginning, and he would not be able to land a single blow on Chuck Norris. So Nihal is like Bruce Lee in that sense. He always lets the opponent get a few hits in, and then he starts hitting back.
nice? And yeah, I think it's not about how much you can hit, but how much you can get hit and come back, as Rocky says. So Nihal, and one more thing I noticed about Nihal from his matches, from his games against Anish, is that he always plays the present position. So even a move like Queen C7 in the previous game, he found it very fast and a really great resource at that. Oh, what is this? Rook sacrifice.
Oh, nice. Queen h1, long castle with the threat of queen d8 check and bishop b5 check. Combination of two threats.
Nice. Yeah, it's a super nice combination with bishop e6 खेलना पड़ेगा to prevent, and you always have this move and rook d1 or even knight b. Okay, no, rook h1, and this king is super lonely even though the material is compensating. No, the material also deficit. Sorry. So
yeah.
white
So
is
I
better.
think black has to play bishop d7 after
Bishop,
queen h1 long castle.
but bishop f6, I thought.
Yeah, now queen c6.
Oh, that's the point. Okay. Because after bishop f6, we were threatening the bishop on d7, so he goes back. And now bishop
okay,
g7.
this also doesn't look good. So maybe knight d7 is the move.
Ding is still thinking, by the way, for bishop g5. He has not yet played a move, so we are just considering whether he can take queen h1. Another option.
But it's a long think.
But knight d7, bishop. Let's see.
Just knight d5, yeah.
Oh,
no, bishop
because
d5. I'll take queen d1, but I think
I
white
thought
can just
this
go knight
would
d5.
also be good after knight b5.
Yeah. This can also be
Oh, but maybe rook
very
a2.
dangerous for
It's not
black.
clear.
But I think knight d5 should be game over.
There is a brilliant move here, Sri. Okay, the position has changed, so let's go. But this is also very complicated. Bishop g5. He has played bishop g4, Srinath. And
this sounds like the move, Soumya. I think queen into h1 loses from the variations that we examined a few moments ago. It feels like
because of knight d5 here. That's what Srinath was saying. And then there are too many problems for the king. And also, of course, the h1 rook hangs. Yeah, this is almost over. So that's why bishop g5. He cannot take the h1 rook, which is free of cost, but not really. Bishop g4, bishop f6. And now the g4 bishop is hanging, by the way. So gf6. And can we take this?
I'm not sure if now the exchange sacrifice would be as effective. Queen takes g4, queen h1, long castle, queen c6.
And go long castle. What about the black king? Where is he finding a shelter? Yeah, Ding has now put his coat on. Ding feeling the heat or the cold. What exactly is happening there? I think
Ding putting his coat on so that he can take his coat off and make a statement later in the match.
No, but Ding doesn't like his position. Just look at the time he's taking. And
but now Nihal is equalizing the time, no?
I think Nihal is considering queen g4 for sure. So queen h1 and long castle. And what do you do next? Bishop h6. We go king b1. And what about this king? How do you free
it? Just go back queen c6.
Queen c6, bishop g2.
But with the bishop on h6, then I go queen c6.
The bishop on h6, okay.
But also I can play bishop h6 check, yeah, if I want to. After
you can always play it. Exactly, yeah. So, okay, queen c6, you are threatening rook d8, I guess. Oh, they have played some moves. Let's go. Queen g4, queen h1, long castle, queen c6, and knight d5 on the board. So Nihal showing us the way. And I think rook d8 will be met with bishop g2.
Yeah, rook d8 will be met by bishop g2 for sure. And
was there any other move here? Queen c6. Because
certainly
the bar
under
dropped down,
pressure.
and I'm wondering if there was something maybe here. Because here the bar is very happy. But okay, it's not clear. Maybe queen a4 check, yeah? Because queen c6, we have bishop b5. And a b5, queen
yeah,
a8.
maybe. Actually, queen a4 check looks good.
Yeah, maybe this was an idea, but okay. Long castle was played instead. Queen c6 and knight d5. Not an easy position to play for black, I would say. I think it's easier to play as white in this position.
Certainly. Certainly easier to play as white. But white also needs to be precise. Because if black can get his bishop out and play short castle, he can get back into the game.
Oh,
it's not easy.
You know what? You don't even need to move the queen right now, Srinath. Can you believe it?
Oh, wow.
Wow. Like a move like h4 would be okay because queen into g4 chat would be a huge blunder. because of knight c7. Oh no, but h4 would also be a blunder because bishop h6 check comes in and then he takes queen g4. And now it's not checkmate. So maybe king b1 is the move. Created a
Right.
move on f8. Oh, he does play king b1. Wow, Nihal. This is so much fun to play. This is so much fun to play as white now. He goes out of the check, not allowing bishop h6 intermezzo or zwisch and zook, as someone pointed out in the chat the other day. And queen g4 here would be an epic blunder because of knight c7, mate in one. This is so great.
Lovely, lovely variations there. Nihal is just bringing all the beauty into it, yeah?
By the way, Srinath, is only your volume low only for me, or is chat also uh, not able to hear you as well?
Maybe it was a bit low.
Nihal, one?
Wow.
What? What did we miss? Okay, we missed that. Can we go back?
I don't know.
I don't think we can. Okay.
We will
Just
catch that in one of the breaks.
okay.
We were sorting out a little technical issue.
All right.
Nihal has quickly won a game.
That's awesome. So this is almost.
We need to be careful, yeah, with Nihal. If you miss a little bit, he's going to immediately kind of make you pay. You can't really take your eye off Nihal.
Absolutely. And you know, Srinath, they have again repeated the same opening. So Nihal clearly having prepared this, perhaps with you, we don't know. But this is again the same position on the board. And as the first game with some, yeah, and I think he played castle and f6. Bishop d4, f6. This was the.
Not actually, maybe not the most ambitious line from White's perspective. This actually quite interesting from Black. The idea to go e5, c5, which is not the exact main line. And on the third move, bishop f5 is like more of a main line. But c5 is also pretty tricky to face in especially the shorter time controls. And yeah.
Yeah.
But Ding seems to be completely ready for this, Soumya, because he has been blitzing out. He has spent only 1 second after 16 moves.
But yeah, because he played the exact same line in the first game as well. So he might have, and also c5 not such a rare line as any other. Like, I mean, I think if you play the advanced Karokan as white, you're definitely preparing for the c5 option.
Yeah, and also Nihal's been playing this for a while now. Actually, I think he's played this for a few years now. So Ding probably was ready for this.
So this would be similar to the first game, I suppose, but he doesn't go for it. It's not exactly the same though. I think the rook was on c6 and knight e1 and f6. This is what the first game went like. But Nihal did not like the position he got after this. This was what we were discussing with the bishop coming to f6 and e5, e4. So that's why Nihal here deviated with queen d7.
Okay. I see.
So what happens
Makes sense from Nihal's perspective. And
So what
I'm
happens if
not
bishop
entirely.
d4 anyway? I mean, I'm trying to understand what's the difference. He wants to play a4, is it? Or
I guess the key is so rook c1 played by Ding,
is c1. Yes.
and I'm also not entirely sure how black defends the h5 pawn.
But in fact, it's not hanging because he just castle. Knight cannot move. I mean, it can move,
Yeah,
but then
castle
it
now
takes
bishop
the
d4.
pawn. So he has to protect the pawn with bishop in order to move the knight, and then we play f6 whenever we are okay. Maybe not now. Only once the knight moves.
Right. Bishop d4 on the board, right?
No, he's still thinking. Ding is thinking.
Okay. So I'm just curious, what's the difference if white plays bishop d4, knight e1, just like the previous game? How does black defend h5?
Yeah, I guess he just plays a4 here, bishop d4, a4 maybe, and knight e1, f6, and previous game turned out fine, no, for black. It's just that he made a mistake later, but it
It
was
didn't, no, it didn't feel pleasant practically, to be honest. And I would prefer to find a way to not lose that pawn. Maybe
okay.
bishop d4, rook c8 you can do.
Rook c8 is an option, but I'm wondering what happens if we take, and now go knight e1 or knight, maybe not knight e1 because then you play queen c4, but knight d2, controlling the c4
Yeah.
square.
Now,
Bishop d4 you
bishop
can,
c5.
or bishop c5.
Yeah,
Bishop
because
c5 here.
okay, you want to take queen. Yeah, this looks bad.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Bishop
you're
b4
pinning
looks
yourself.
better.
You're pinning yourself, no? So you don't want to do that. But maybe this is
Yeah,
also
this is
fine.
one problem. Although here black can take bishop d4. But the other problem is there was a variation with white taking on h5 and knight f3, knight g5.
Sorry. The other problem was he has played bishop d4, by the way. So the line we are seeing could be happen. What were you saying, Srinath?
So one of white's threats here is queen h5, knight f3, knight g5.
Right. So maybe we can simply play bishop b4 here, attack the d2 knight. You can't take on h5. And if you go back, then anyway, this is defended. And now we again go back bishop e7, not allowing you to play this.
Yeah, makes sense. So yeah,
So
Nihal has
this
to be
game,
precise here. And after bishop d4, we have some moves. Yeah, he played rook c6, knight e1, f6. We are in a very similar situation to the previous game, Soumya. Is it a repeat?
knight e1
Oh no,
f6
I'm
is not
sorry.
on the board. Huh.
I'm sorry. Yeah, rook c6 on the board,
Huh.
but Ding hasn't responded yet.
Chris Kane says about the previous game he's talking. How not to get checkmated against Nihal? Click on resign button before he can checkmate. That
True
previous game
story.
was awesome. Unfortunately, we missed the end, but I think chat saw it because it did play on the screen. But
Yeah, and also it's not the last of these we're going to see from Nihal, so I'm not too sad about missing it. And in fact, Soumya, I think I've fallen into the same trap, this rook sacrifice against Nihal in one of her training games.
oh,
I just recall later, but he does play this variation from time to time, and this is such a long thing from Ding.
yeah, I think he's
He's
thinking about
thinking,
queen a4. I think so. Because a5 he can take after queen a4, rook f c8, and takes um take
yeah,
with
it takes queen c6, queen a5, rook a8.
but
The
you have
pawn is lost right back.
yes. So I'm not
So the
sure.
pawn is basically just saying BRB.
Oh, he doesn't seem happy with his position. Just look at his expressions. He's not happy.
Wow. You're able to understand Ding's expression, Soumya?
Yeah, he's giving some expressions for a change.
You're the first person who told me look at Ding's expression.
Knight E1 on the board. Chat में D Sandeep is saying also I have answered to Srinath's question. क्या था आपका question?
Yes, our question was about Ding's background, and D Sandeep or Dr. Sandeep, I don't know, answered correctly that Ding's background is the Shenzhen Concert Hall. Congratulations, Sandeep, and here is your diamond membership. Please accept it. I'm trying to give as much as I can as long as I'm here, and feel free to claim it by writing to rakesh@chess.com. And Niels is also in the chat.
That's great, Sandeep ji. I hope you use your utilize your diamond membership really well. So, meanwhile, Srinath, White has lost.
Yes, Soumya, the queen has come in. Nihal has got excellent paisa vasul for his pawn sacrificed.
Exactly, and look at this queen. अगर वो queen g4 नहीं जा पाएगी तो यहाँ पे वो almost अटक गई है और bishop c3 के बाद हम rook c4 भी खेल देंगे श्रीनाथ. And then where will this queen go?
It went to g4, rook c4 happened. And now Ding cannot find a move. He's down to 4 seconds.
H5
Finally, he makes a move. H5, knight e5, knight into e5, rook d4. And I think after knight d3, he has to take the queen. Just 3 seconds remaining for Ding. Rook c1. But now Nihal is better. He has the passed pawn, the d pawn, and a bishop. And most importantly, Ding has 4 seconds remaining. He has only 4 seconds remaining.
Yeah. I think it's too less time in a bad position. I mean, I also feel like Nihal will get through. Let's see how he handles it. Bishop f6 क्यों नहीं खेल रहे Nihal? He doesn't like rook c5. That's why. Bishop d6 on the board. Do we go bishop b3?
Bishop b3 is missed. Bishop g3.
Oh my god.
Ding has missed bishop g3 and he's losing this one. I think Nihal is going to take a lead, Soumya.
Huge blunder by Ding there, but expected in time pressure. He had to.
And he has lost on time.
Wow.
Nihal. See, this is what happens when others have less than 3 seconds. Don't get the misconception that people can play great chess with less than 5 seconds just by seeing Nihal play.
Absolutely. And d3 Roy Lopez in the 4th game. Meanwhile, Dr. Krish is saying your combo commentary is nice. Thank you, Dr. Krish. And Niels is asking, are Srinath and Harshit on a shift basis? Srinath cannot join us for too long today. So that's why Srinath will be with us for the 5+1 section. And then Harshit will join us for 3+1. Right, Sri?
Yes, Soumya. Chess.com doesn't allow me to stay on for too long anymore after the comments I said led to people being made fun of at the office.
What?
So, you didn't know?
Yeah. No, I don't know. What is it? Please give me context.
Niels will know what I'm talking about.
Okay. But this is also a typical Roy Lopez d3 position with almost I mean it's such a long game to go because both the sides have too many ideas, but basically black is trying for d5 or some break on the queen side, and white will try to play on the king side, which is a typical Roy Lopez plan, and he can put the knight to e3 or to g3. Maybe to e3 makes more sense because then you also control the e5 point and can go to f5 as well. So knight to f1.
Bishop f8.
Bishop f8 with the idea to play d5. So that's something to worry about.
And Ding is a hardcore martial player. This is his pet opening.
d5 directly because if you take, I think black. Sorry. If you take, I think black would have first taken on f3 and then taken on d5.
To protect the e5 pawn.
Yes, protect the e5 pawn. So d5 directly, knight g3, bishop g6. And now can we take on d5 is the question, because knight d5, queen e5 looks risky. What is possible? Bishop d6 is not possible after queen e5, guys, because e8 का रुक हम खा लेंगे और ये बहुत अच्छा material exchange है, material imbalance hai in favor of white. So bishop g6 on the board. Is it possible for Nihal versus Magnus in the final if they both keep winning? Avinash KR says. Do we know the full bracket for the speed chess?
Yes, so if Nihal wins, he goes to the semi-final and he'll face the winner of Hikaru against Haronian. Now that's going to be a delicious encounter as well, Soumya, because yeah, Hikaru is a massive favorite. But we also, I'm not sure how many saw, but we also saw Haronian having this fabulous bullet streak against Andrekin, defeating him 15-14. It was a super close match. Same margin as Nihal, Anish. So Nihal will face the winner of Hikaru Aronian. Meanwhile, Carlsen himself, who escaped Arjun, Caruana coming there instead by defeating Arjun, will have to overcome Caruana in order to get to the semis, which is also not taken for granted. Caruana has also been practicing a lot of blitz and bullet. And in fact, Aronian was the latest guest of Caruana and Christian Chirila in the C Squared podcast. And they were both talking about how much they have been playing blitz and bullet in recent times, like learning from the latest generation.
Oh, I absolutely loved that podcast. I didn't watch it fully. I watched it in parts because, they have also given timestamps and they have given like a question. So I only saw the ones I was curious about. But it was great. I mean, and also to hear Aronian and his thoughts. He spoke on a variety of topics. I totally recommend it to everyone. Like, it's such a honest and casual conversation, which also touches a lot of important topics. Like you said, how are they practicing? Then how are they coming up with novelties? And the chess culture, the difference between the cultural equation between the Armenian national teams and the US national teams, and how Aronian finds it. Very, very interesting.
Absolutely. So this is the bracket, and it's going to be let's see how today goes, but it's going to be super interesting. Nihal could potentially play both Hikaru as well as Magnus, and if that happens, how amazing would it be?
Oh yeah.
And if we are on the dream spree, like imagine Nihal defeating Hikaru and Magnus and winning the speed chess championship. Okay, I'm lost.
Question for you, Srinath. Like in case of Gukesh, for example, it's very clear that his priority is classical chess. So in case of Nihal, I wanted to ask you, is his motivation the same for all three formats, or is one of the formats something that he gets more motivated for and more excited about?
I think in terms of motivation, maybe it's kind of balanced across formats, Soumya. But in terms of what he's most excited about, I think he's certainly more excited with blitz and rapid compared to classical. Just like our audience chat, what do you think? I mean, how excited are you compared to the speed chess championship and the classical format?
Yeah, great question there. Actually, I'm also curious to see what our
this was also one of the topics they discussed in the C Squared podcast of Haronian. Haronian was talking about how he grew up in the adjournment times and how the time control kept becoming shorter as time passed. But for people who are tuning in, like people born after 2000, people who are not there in that era, do they even wonder what's the point of classical chess when we have such an exciting format? This is like super exciting, every minute matters. The games are really exciting. It's so fast, and it's also so thrilling, the format. So does the chat ever wonder? And how many of you have seen this recent stand up on chess, the stand up video?
Oh yeah, the one I posted about. Oh, I enjoyed it. Let me just tell you. You watched it, Srinath, and did you understand it? Because it was in Hindi through and through.
Yeah. I understood it.
Cool. Yeah. That's also a nice question. Let's see. Maybe they have, because our chat does watch stand up, so maybe they have been recommended. क्योंकि मुझे actually YouTube recommendation आया because chess and उन्होंने उसका title ही chess रखा था वो stand up का, तो I found it really funny.
Clickbait. Imagine chess being a clickbait.
I know, can you believe it? But it is nowadays. Are how many posters we see of some business
Footballers playing chess.
Footballers playing chess. That's the biggest clickbait ever. I'm really curious to know if either of them actually play chess. I don't think so. What do you think, Shri? That's another question, yeah? I think
I think you should ask CR7 directly, Soumya.
I should ask him directly, and you think he'll reply.
Of course.
Sure, let's do that after the football World Cup. अभी उनको disturb नहीं करते हैं, हो सकता है पोर्चुगल आगे तक जाए. After that, Morocco is going to play. Okay, sorry. Just talking about football World Cup. Morocco was actually defeated Spain, and they are playing. They are playing the football World Cup, but it also they are going to play the Portugal team in the football World Cup. But it also sort of demonstrated of how, with the right techniques and the right, like if you get the right resources, right opportunities, then maybe there is no such geographical advantage remaining anymore. Yeah, because with the internet and information age, everyone has access to what are the right training methods, and of course getting the right coach and all of these things. Like that's one of the reasons why India was traditionally behind in chess for so many years, and the Soviet Union was dominating because all the knowledge was concentrated there, and people in India used to wait 3-4 months for a single book, and that book would be in Russian. So people like Praveen Tipse ji and all the players of that time, 60s and 70s, actually learned Russian in order to read the chess books. And compared to that, now there's so much information available.
Absolutely. People used to wait for books like we wait for Nihal's move when watching his game. But we are here. We are here down to those last 10 seconds. Under 30 moves, both the players under the last 10 seconds.
Wow. Now all the action begins. Abhi tak sab maneuvering chal raha tha. In last 10 seconds, all the pawns will be pushed and the kings will be checkmated. King H1.
Yes, now we have 10+1 on board. But Nihal will try to get his bishop into the game. That's been out of the game since a long time.
But it's now out of the game, Shri.
Literally.
Out of the F5 was possible, okay, but no time. So Nihal
pawn hunting by Ding.
Pawn, but guys, यहाँ पे बस speed and reflex.
1 second, play.
Knight F6. Why not Knight F6? Knight F6.
Yes, he's got it. He's lost on time.
What? Why did he play Knight F6?
Soumya, I have a feeling that it could be that Nihal has made the move, but it didn't register on the server. This happens a lot. Because looking at Nihal's reaction.
Yeah. His reaction says that. I understand it. It has happened to every one of us. So.
Absolutely. And if we can go to Nihal must be sharing his screen on his Zoom. and the officials will be able to find out if Nihal actually made that move and it didn't reach the server, or if it was too slow. But it's really unfortunate, and we could see that Nihal was connected to the internet. His video feed was on, and everything else was on. But that is going to be truly unsettling for Nihal and totally undeserving. Instead of going 2 points up, the match is equalized. And if this continues, or if this becomes a thing, it's going to be a big disadvantage for Nihal in this match.
Yeah,
Oh
huge
man.
miss there, because I'm sure he spotted knight of six. There is no way he didn't spot it. If I spotted it, he spotted it for sure. Shri. Let's just agree on that. So it's very strange that the move was not made for whatever reason. We'll see. We'll look into it. So E4
Oh
played.
man. Nihal's expression it just melts my heart, It just makes me feel so bad for him.
It's okay, Shri. He has got how many? I think how much time is left? There is 45 minutes left. So I think there'll be at least uh 20 more games. Sorry, uh, how many more games? 45,
Yeah,
eight more games.
there
8 more
45
games.
minutes. Yeah.
No, no, 10
Sandeep
minutes.
says for all such
4 more
tourneys,
games.
high-speed internet. Sorry, Soumya?
Sorry, 4 more games, because 10 minutes ka ek game hai na. 5 plus
Yeah.
1 chalta hai. Haan.
Unless Nihal wins in 19 moves like he did in the second game. Look at him, still he's processing the previous game. And Sandeep says for all such tourneys, high-speed internet with multiple backups should be given. But it's not really a question of internet, because I mean his Zoom feed was working fine. It's I think it's one of the disadvantages of playing from India. When you play from a location closer to the server, I've seen that you get a lot less of this disconnection problem. But this problem of the connection just dropping with 2 seconds remaining, this has happened to me myself so many times when I was streaming Title Tuesday. With 2 seconds remaining, my stream would be on. I would have made a move, but I have just lost on time.
Oh, I did
And
not
there's
know
literally
this.
nothing you can do, I think, from the player's end.
I did not know that the server is faster in certain countries and slower in certain countries. I did not know that.
I mean, it's that the server is located in US, let's say, and
Yeah.
since if you're playing from India, then it's farther away from US. So our ping comes to like 100 to 150. But when you're closer in other countries, the ping is like 30 milliseconds. Now, in other esports like Valorant, what happens is they have servers in different places, and you get paired against people in the same servers. Like if you're playing, you'll get connected to the Mumbai server, let's say, and you'll play against people from the Mumbai server or a Singapore server. But
Okay.
you will never play against someone from San Francisco, because then the ping will be a problem. But in chess, this is not exactly feasible. You can't just play people from
Mumbai.
Asia. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it would be funny. Like, I think SL and Nihal would be playing all the games in that case. Like, if he was playing from Kerala, like, sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I understand your point. So that makes a difference. But okay, it's fine.
Yes.
I think Nihal has a lot of opportunities to catch up, and I'm sure he will. So F4 on the board, 2 minutes to Nihal. He just needs to get his thoughts realigned and focus on the present position. Is Nihal someone who
Yes.
gets over losses quickly? I mean, I'm not talking only about the previous game, but in general.
So the general consensus amongst the juniors, like Arjun or Ronak, is that Nihal is one of the best at handling tilt. He doesn't get tilted as easily as others. I think that's one of the reasons why he's so well suited to this format. But that said, human beings have limitations. I mean, he's a human being, and it's very tough for him to. He just needs time to process what happened there, which is the reason why I think he's behind by almost 2 minutes in this game. It just took him so much time to just process what happened. He's in fact still doing that, and he will really need this break after this game more than anyone else.
Yes, definitely. And I really liked how you clarified that he is a human being, just in case someone had any doubts. um, so yeah, I think even a draw would still make him like calmer. So I think any positive result would do the trick for his nerves to calm down and get going back in the next game. And next game he'll be white, and so far he's been showing excellent chess as white as well. I mean as black as well, but with white he has been a little more dominant, I would say. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
even
overall,
the clarity.
it feels like Nihal has had Ding's number. It feels like Ding was really struggling. There was just this momentum in Nihal's favor. He was outplaying Ding, and Ding had gone to less than 10 seconds in a variation that he's quite familiar with. There was just the upward swing in Nihal's favor, and momentum matters a lot in these speed chess matches, as we all know by now.
Definitely. So yeah, definitely, Shri. But this position, I feel black is very comfortable. Even though he has some problems with his king, but they will be solved soon. For example, let's say knight e4 will be met with queen e7 or queen d5. Even no, queen d5 we do. Queen d5 is also fine actually, and then we play long castle. So rook e1. That's why Ding inserts so that black doesn't get time to castle. And actually, rook e1 very good move by Ding. I did not notice it. And now he's forced black to remain uncastled and not connect the rooks.
Yeah, the king is exposed.
On the other hand, Nihal going for the pawn, so he's a pawn up. And this was his strategy against Anish as well. I noticed that he loves to go pawn grabbing, and at least बाद में time scramble में pawn up तो रहेंगे, pressure on the opponent. So yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, he must be feeling fine, I guess, with the position. And bishop d4 needs to
That
come
bishop
back.
is the one kind of holding together black's position, but he's all vulnerable on the light squares. So this knight goes to those light squares, f5 and h5, just eyeing them. And Nihal is under massive pressure. He's down to just 30 seconds. The position is not at all easy to play. The king is vulnerable, and white has all these weaknesses he can attack, and it's an opposite color bishop position. So this light square bishop attacks are also going to be very hard for Nihal to handle.
Yes, definitely. But he has some threats of his own, Srinath. Like, for example, queen d5 and now rook d8, queen a2. There are ideas, but and white needs to make a few defensive moves as well.
Absolutely.
Sorry, no, I just noticed that Ding is ahead on the clock. So that's also something that Nihal needs to be careful about. Not falling
Queen
too much.
d2, can you play now?
Queen d2 looks good. And if we exchange the queens, I think a lot of our stress goes away because our king suddenly is not that weak anymore. Why is Nihal thinking queen d7 he goes?
Yeah, but the problem for black will remain that his rook on h8 is completely out of the game. And this is his major problem. Now, queen c5, king g8, knight e7 check is, I think, knight just takes and knight e7 check. Okay, because bishop d3 has to come, and now he can just take on c6. He can just wheel around, knight c6 check first, then knight e7 check, knight g6 check if required. He can even go knight f5 check and bishop b5 because the knight on f5 is a monster.
No,
And
Queen E4 and maybe some problems.
yeah, Queen E. But even that should be okay for White, I think, because then once again knight E7 check.
But just knight E7 and bishop D3, very strong move.
Oh, bishop
Bishop
B2, but
D2,
that's just one
wow.
pawn.
And knight A4. That is the point. Nihal, very resourceful though, we must say. Here, knight E7 check, does it work? King
Now there's
G7.
king G7. So
So knight
knight,
H6.
yeah, knight
And now
H6
when
check.
exchange down and queen E1 and queen A1 and king B3. Oh my god, what's
Oh,
happening?
but now there's some serious compensation.
Because
Now
we
there's
go
some serious
chain
compensation.
and queen A1. Nihal so resourceful. Bishop C2 maybe or queen C2. Queen
It was
G4 as
bishop
well.
C2.
Oh no, bishop H7, bishop F5. Oh, he missed it. He missed it. So
Yeah, he missed it.
Nihal
He missed it, and now queen
check,
E6
and now
check,
he's
and
mate.
it's
It's
turned
mate.
around, Soumya. It's
It's
turned around,
mate.
and he cannot make. Oh, king B4 A5 check.
A5.
Oh, what
Queen
is going on?
A5,
King
queen C4
B5,
and king A5. Wow, this is great.
and now it's flag for. Yeah, Nihal has got
Sorry.
redemption in that game. He's
Oh,
got
this is
redemption.
this is amazing, Srinath, and this is exactly what Magnus was talking about yesterday. That Nihal gets into these really worse positions, but then in less time he flips the game around, and his opponent can't win, and it really frustrates him. Which is exactly what happened today. Like उनका position बहुत खराब था यहाँ पर, but Bishop B2 क्या मुंह खेली है?
I
Brilliant.
know, I
I
know.
should give it double exclamation mark.
Yeah,
Good.
and from what we've witnessed so far, Soumya, it feels like Nihal is a big favorite in this matchup against Dane.
So far, yes, Nihal has been in the driver's seat. Even the game he lost, we saw how he lost. So the first game actually didn't played really well. We must give it to him. But then Nihal got over, especially the second game, some fantastic preparation there. Do we have time to just quickly check, or do we? Can we quickly
Yeah,
check?
I think we do have time to check because there's going to be a break now, a 6-minute break.
Right. Okay. Okay. Our producer
And
Niranjan is helping us get the board on the screen. Uh, Meanwhile, of course, Nihal takes the lead, he takes 1 point lead now in the match with 3 points to 2 and half an hour more of 5+1 remaining.
yes, Sandeep also points out that same is the case with Ding too, right? All the server issues comparatively to the others who are in Europe. Absolutely true. Ding will also not have the optimal situation, and apart from that, I'm really not sure how the Great Firewall would affect his ping and his connection issues. So, in that sense, it's kind of a level playing field. Also, it's later for Ding than for Nihal. I guess it's what 10 p.m. right now in China or 11 p.m.
Oh yeah,
But
it's much later. Yes, I don't know the exact time, and we don't know where in China he's playing from, na? So it's not clear to
China
us.
doesn't have a universal time zone, yeah,
No,
like
it's a
India.
very big country. No, नहीं नहीं,
Hmm.
बहुत बड़ा country है.
But most of all, what I feel is Ding really seems to be making these blunders when down to 10 seconds, and in that aspect, it feels like Nihal has a lot more practice.
हाँ, I agree, and especially वो last 10 seconds ही तो count हो रहा है ना, because till then पूरा game equally जा रहा है. या जो भी position है, the point is you need to convert it. So at some point you're going to get down to 10 seconds, and then your skills in that time zone is going to really matter. So we have the game on the screen, the one we missed, the checkmate. So let's quickly go to that position. because we really want to sit and admire Nihal's skill. So knight e5, queen c7, we saw this. And now the knight is attacked. So इसीलिए white plays d4, take, queen takes, knight to c6, takes queen c6. And Shri, would you like to take us through the game here onwards?
Yeah, and at this point, Soumya, the rook is poisoned. Black cannot really take the rook. This is what we also observed during the game. If black takes on h1, then after long castle, there is the dual threat of both queen d8 checkmate as well as bishop b5 check deadly. And by this point, black is already under a little bit of pressure here. Black needs to be careful and precise. So knight into c6, queen takes c6. Here, bishop g5 is a very strong and precise move by Nihal. Bishop g4 is a good move by Ding. But bishop into f6, g takes f6, queen takes g4. Just capturing the bishop after almost 2 minutes of thought by Nihal. Just giving up the rook on h1, but he doesn't care because white's focus is on black's king through and through. So he just doesn't worry about losing that rook. Just goes long castle. Queen a4 check, as pointed out by Soumya, was a better move here. That would have been strong. But yeah, what Nihal played was also practically good. Yes, queen c6, bishop b5, using the pin against the a8 rook as well as against the queen on c6. We see 2 pins in action.
So, yeah, but he played long castle, which is also very cool and very natural, actually. Very natural move here. And queen c6, he goes back to defend the d7 point. And knight d5. Very natural move again. You want to create threats against the king and have a chance to play knight c7 at some point. Rook d8, attacking the knight. Bishop g2 supports it. Queen c8. And now I really like what white played. Played king b1 here, Shri. We were discussing this, and that's when we had some technical issues and we couldn't follow the game. But yeah, king b1, fantastic resource here. Stopping bishop h6. That is the point. No other point. Bishop h6 check के बाद king f8 को square मिल जाएगा. So asking black what is he going to do? Black played e6 here. Maybe he had to play bishop h6 anyway. I don't know what, but then maybe bishop h6 anyway, right? But then
yeah, bishop h6 he had to play, I think. Just get some air for that king on e8. The king was literally suffocating. There was just a lot of fire and smoke, and the king already had started coughing. With e6, it didn't really help get the king out, because after knight takes f6 check, king e7. Looks like king is trying to run away, but not really. Queen b4 check, king takes f6, and now queen to h4 check, making sure the king doesn't run away from the long arm of the queen. And here Ding resigned because he loses the rook on d8 anyway, and the king is no less safer than it used to be.
And it's just total massacre, actually. Beautiful game by Nihal. Yeah, Nihal in full form so far. And we have a small break, so we could take some questions from the chat.
The chat actually has answers. D. Sandeep says it's 11 p.m. in China. Priyadarshan says China has one time zone. Maybe we can invert it and it can be a AMA to the chat from us.
Yeah, probably. It's a good question. It's a good idea that we ask the chat questions and chat answers. And
because the chat certainly knows more than us.
Definitely. Chat is Google and we don't. So when Christian says when Nihal has 2 seconds left, he plays it like it's 2000 milliseconds. Others can't match him there. Yeah, he's very fast. I agree. And
Yeah, it's crazy how fast he can start playing when he accelerates. It just it's incredible. Like when the games have resumed, Soumya.
Yes, yes, the games have resumed and D4 by Nihal, not E4 this time. D4 switches the openings after the break. So Slav defense on the board, semi-Slav. E3 एकदम solid opening है ये. Marin defense,
Bishop
short
E2 is
castle,
even more solid, yeah.
even more calm. मुझे बस मेरे pieces develop करने हैं. Rook will come
Right.
to the center. It's actually a very good opening to play while starting out because it follows a lot of principles like develop all your pieces, castle quickly, connect your rooks by move 14 as Niranjan explained that day. So now already by move 10 you have connected your rooks. It's
Yes,
already
and most importantly, play B3 on the 8th move, not on the first move.
Yes, so you fianchetto your bishop, but later, once you have already developed all your pieces, as Srinath has. That's what Srinath means to
Beauty.
say. And queen e7, rook f e1. So bishop a3 usually is an idea when the rook is on a1, but here we have a square for our bishop. We don't need to exchange the dark squared bishops. Rook a d8. So black is also doing fine only. Black has also connected his rooks, brought them to the center. All of his pieces developed. White will try to play e4. So he'll probably play e5, bishop f1 here and get e4 in.
Or bishop d3. But the thing is, when you're playing e4, you have to watch out for black c5.
So that's why I thought bishop d3 usually e5 he'll play now, and then he'll try for e4.
Yeah, but sometimes you can meet e5 with e4.
Okay. So when black plays e5, we play e4 sometimes. That's also an idea.
Yeah, meet fire with fire.
So rook a d8 and white played cd, Shriyan. Black is thinking.
ED looks very natural to me.
Yeah, because your knight is already here, and when knight cannot come to c6, we usually take with the e pawn. That's a thumb rule that
Yeah,
we
and
follow.
also CD, there is just knight b5 directly. It just feels.
And bishop a3. Oh, this is nice. But he has taken cd5 and he doesn't play knight b5 because
Knight
bishop
b5, rook c8.
He doesn't like bishop b4 maybe, or rook c8 even.
Right.
Both options are there. So that's why he played first rook c1 and a6. He prevents knight b5. But still, this would be a small achievement because the knight usually belongs to c6 in these positions and the knight is on d7. This one.
Yeah, but I think it's not such a terrible thing because, in fact, with the bishop on b7, the knight on d7 is maybe not so badly placed. It helps black get knight to e4, and the other knight can come on to f6. So, in the sense, the knight on d7 might actually be better placed than white's knight on c3, which is blocking the bishop on b2.
So that's why he played bishop d3, not allowing knight e4. Now we understand this game a little bit, when we tried to.
But now e5 should be watched out for.
He actually played b5 here. So he wants to drive this knight away and put the knight on e4. That's what he wants.
The man with a plan, Ding Liren.
It's a good idea, no? It's a good idea, I think, to play b4 and then e4. Knight to e4 and
yeah, but Nihal is like, I'm not going away because you forced me to, but I'll go away on my own will. So he takes the knight to e2, and knight e4 he can meet by taking on e4 and playing the knight to e5. That's one way. It's he has enough room to fight against it.
Arjun Sharma says it would be tough for Nihal today, but he will win for sure. I believe in him. वाह, ये होता है विश्वास. और Steven Thronson Steven Thronson says Ding is Stockfish's brother for sure. Interesting.
Why on earth?
I don't know. He has to explain it. Why do you say so, Steven?
It's a deep joke there.
Because he's so strong, maybe. That's why. Queen B1.
Yeah, but then that would potentially apply better to Nihal in the match context of the match.
Sorry, what?
I thought that would apply better to Nihal in the context of the match, being really strong, because so far Nihal has been dominating the match.
What
The
do you
score
have
is 3-2, but it could have been 4-1.
Yes. D. Sandeep says Ding is taking time because he's actually trying to find the traps that Nihal might have set up, or it's just that the position is complicated for him. I think it's not it's a normal position, but he needs to find some plans, and that's why he was taking some time.
Yeah, the games have been, I think, quite strategic and slow so far, the positions that they have been getting. And as you can see, Nihal has been maneuvering a lot. Like this move, Queen B1, very non-committal move. He wants to get Rook C2 and Rook C1, but he's just not committing anything, and he brings his own knight to E5. He preserves the option of taking Bishop E4, but he wants to do it at a time and convenience of his choosing. Ding going for the initiative against Nihal's king, and he really, I think, needs to speed up because he shouldn't ideally be getting into this 10+1 matchups against Nihal. That's not his strength in this matchup, I think.
Definitely, and actually this was Anish's problem against Nihal as well. Anish also got great positions, but in the time scramble, Nihal would outplay him, and that's something that he also needs to watch out for. Yeah, and maybe it's also a question of just warming up. I think towards the end of the match, we'll see both of the players more adjusted to each other because they're also getting to know each other in a way, right?
Absolutely. It's almost like a date, by the end of the match, you know everything about the opponent.
All right then.
A bad example, but but yeah,
it's a good example. It's just that the players shouldn't the players might not feel very comfortable with this description, but it explains what's going on.
But yeah, the point is towards the end of the match, the players really start sensing each other's comforts and discomforts. So speed chess is actually pretty effective for a lot of things.
Yeah, definitely. And also a lot of fun. Now h5 and e4 both are hanging, so knight f6 probably the only move in order to support.
But once again, look at the time situation, Soumya. Nihal's down to 13 seconds.
Yeah.
The positions that they have been reaching, it just doesn't allow that easy play for each other, I think. Knight c6 trading that light square bishop, which will leave Nihal with that b2 bishop, which is pretty restricted. But the e4 pawn is quite vulnerable. This is Nihal's point. He's like, after bishop c6, rook c6, how do you defend that pawn on e4? That's my question to you. I guess black cannot defend that e4 pawn, but he can attack something else.
No, he can go queen b7, right? And then you...
queen b7, rook c1.
All right.
But yeah, takes, a6 is attacked, e4 is attacked, but bishop b4 and now queen b7.
Because rook c1 would have been met with bishop d2 and now queen b7. So now you have blocked the queen's diagonal and now e4 is not under attack.
Yes.
Ding playing extremely good strategic chess, I would say. He's getting the kind of position in this game, at least he's gotten the kind of position which where he's stronger, because just look at the time situation also. He's somehow feeling the situation better right now. We don't know what's going to happen
Absolutely.
next.
He's come rejuvenated after the break. Actually, which
Huh,
makes me wonder, and it's a question both for you and the chat. Do you
huh.
think Speed Chess Championship should introduce the concept of timeout for the players?
Time out. What is that?
So
What?
timeout is, when you can voluntarily take a break, like say, I need a break, and you
Oh,
just take a break and then you get back. And you see, after the break, a lot of players just get the time to recover. And this is a common concept in a lot of American sports. Should we have it in the speed chess championship as well, chat?
great question, Shri. But right now, Nihal needs to not take any timeouts. He has only 2 seconds left. Again, Ding having 45. Nihal, play fast. D5 would have been met with bishop f6, and that's the reason he doesn't go there. F5, king f2. Nihal needs to play really fast. Otherwise, position is under control though. Oh, g5, very strong move by Ding there.
G3.
It, g3, another good move. Take. Both the players playing
Take,
really.
take. The thing is, the black queen can get to this h file, like queen b8, queen h8. Not so easy for the white queen to do the same. The queen is
Oh,
over
yes.
different. Oh, queen e8.
Oh, queen a8, and
Sophisticated
now he
move.
has to take hg. Why is he not taking? Oh, he's
He's
waiting.
trying to make keep Nihal guessing, So he's not immediate allowing him to make a forced move. He's trying to keep him guessing, and Nihal has 1 second, so it's very uncomfortable for him. And now maybe takes and queen h3. Now the queen gets in, or queen h1.
Queen h1. Queen h1, very strong. And
Knight b4, knight d3 now.
oh, knight before knight d3. Great plan, and actually it's checkmate.
But
Nihal offered
Ding
a
is also
draw.
down to
Nihal
five
offered a draw.
seconds.
Nihal offered a draw and Ding denied it because he's winning. d4 and knight b4 he needs to find.
Oh, is Ding losing on time again?
Oh, Ding lost on time. Oh my god. This has been so unpredictable, Srinath. Like, how do we? Oh, Ding's so upset there. Just look at his face. Oh my god.
I think he just forgot about the clock there, Soumya.
He looks so upset. He had a great position. He's played a great game, this one, and he just needed to go knight before 93, and it's almost over. Even though, of course, Nihal would have defended, but it's so difficult. This position, it's checkmate actually. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think now they are even, because Nihal had the same thing in the fifth game,
Yes.
fourth game, and now Ding has this on the sixth game, and I think now we can't really.
Yes.
The seventh game has started, and Nihal taking almost 8 seconds to make his first move there. It
Yes.
feels like Nihal is also equally sad, He's almost empathetic to his opponent.
I think he's still thinking about the previous game. Or do you think he's thinking because taking his time? He's not played yet. It's the second move, Nihal.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on, because it's very strange. Is Nihal? What is he doing?
No, he's thinking about something, but we don't know whether he's thinking about this game or he's thinking about what was happening there. It's it's difficult to understand.
Yeah, I don't know. I just sense some kind of.
Yes, I thought
Uh,
so. I thought so. He resigned because he didn't want the free point. I thought so.
yeah, it almost feels like, yeah, exactly. Nihal felt
Yeah,
very conflicted after that win, that he
yeah,
just gave back the point.
yeah.
Uh,
I
which
think he.
reminds me of this queen h4, queen into f2 that Magnus once did,
Yeah,
also
and
against Ding, I think.
I mean, and especially since we know Nihal as a person, like I think both of us could sense that that was going to happen. Like it's just he didn't want the free point. I
Yeah,
think
but on
I
the
think
other
maybe
hand, to be honest, it felt like it just balanced out Nihal's earlier win. So I don't know if Nihal. That was my perspective. Nihal had a very unfortunate occurrence once, and Ding also had one each.
mhm. Knight
But then,
b2.
in a way, this will help Nihal, because it just gets a distraction out,
Yes.
and you can play with a clean mind.
Yes, definitely. I think it depends on your attitude. A lot of situations, there need not be one correct answer, so it's okay. E5, D4,
Yeah.
knight D5, and maybe knight E4 now. Uh, Knight E4 seems like a good move. Developing the bishop seems like a good move. Knight B4 will be met with bishop B5, so that's okay. The bishop won't be hanging in any kind of, oh, knight C3, queen C2. Yeah, the bishop won't hang in any kind of tactics.
Yeah, and this variation, 3 bishop f4 has been like Nihal's go-to opening, one of his go-to openings since the GCC. Meanwhile, chat, let's show some appreciation for Nihal's sportsman spirit. Nihal OP in the chat, and to get those likes going so more people can join in the exciting Speeches Championship quarterfinal between Nihal and Deng. Nihal is leading 4-3 at the moment. It's been a match where Nihal has had the upper hand, and 4-3 is 4-3 almost feels like a bit less than what Nihal might have had.
No, but Ding has been playing really well as well, Sri. So I think 4-3, I mean, from the game perspective, I think it's a very fair score. And so many games to be played. I think 17 more minutes to go. So maybe we'll get two more games in this section, this one and one more. So uh, I definitely feel like I don't know how good Ding is in bullet, but it's clear that Nihal is very good in bullet. So I feel like he has to take his chances in 5+1 and 3+1 for Ding. So this is a very these two games will be very important to sort of tell us how the match is going to go, in which direction.
Absolutely.
Oh, now
Now we
knight
are back into
G5.
the zone.
Huh?
We are back into that zone where Ding is taking a lot of time thinking.
Huh.
So far, it has been that kind of a match where the players have been really taking quite a bit of time within the first 30 moves.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's almost like watching a classical game, even though it's not. It's 5+1. But like we've been having long conversations for the first 4 minutes, and then suddenly the game heats up.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
knight.
it feels like this Harry Potter, you know, there's just a lot of build up and then all the action happens very quickly in the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, initially there'll be all this Weasley boys jokes and Hermione and Ron's, some tantrum going on and some troll happening, and then suddenly Voldemort appears. Like, ha ha ha! I'm here now. Fight me.
Who's Harry here and who's Voldemort?
No, Voldemort is the time travel. Once the time travel
Voldemort
appears,
seems
then
like
everything is out
lost
of
on time
control.
actually. Makes a lot of sense in this match because it has been causing the most grief for everyone around.
Yeah, definitely. The time travel, the last 10 seconds is Voldemort, and you need to face him. So you have to be ready with your spells and patronesses. Rook f d8, and I'm really concerned about knight of g5, but neither is Ding concerned about it nor Nihal. Like nobody's. But I think now Nihal is taking his time, so maybe he's thinking about one of these moves. Because there is another move like knight d6, but that he would have played quickly. So I think he's thinking about the king and making some sacrifices on h7.
Right, but whenever knight g5 comes, I think black can respond with h6. and nothing immediate is happening. Like white is not able to break through. Knight e g5 would be met by h6 and knight f g5 as well. But there are options to just sacrifice the knight. For example, knight g5 h6 queen h5. But
Oh,
at the moment, it feels like black has everything defended and under control.
oh, he does go for knight g5, Shri. So maybe h6, queen h5 coming in, because I honestly don't think black can take on g5, because knight g5 and then there is mate on h7 which cannot really be prevented, and f7 as well. So
Right, but he goes knight f8, which is also what I thought, because now you can defend the f7 from bishop e8, and h7 is defended by the knight.
Yeah,
This is like this fortress, the king is going and there's just fortress, and it's not easy for white to break it.
it's also a good example of what happens when you like probably make decent moves in the opening, develop all your pieces, that even if white attacks, you can get all your pieces in and defend. I mean, there's nothing much to worry about, this
Absolutely. This is a good defensive formation, but still dangers exist. Knight d6, yes, as you point out, the knight can get to d6, and if black plays g6, which black might need to at some point, then the f6 square will be weakened, and one of the knights can make use of the f6 square.
So yeah, knight c5, guys, will you play it or not? Let's ask the chat. Knight c5 आप खेलेंगे या नहीं खेलेंगे? क्योंकि हमारा threat है bishop c5 को bishop into h7 मर रहा है. So is this a move you will play? Bishop e8, he plays knight d6. Yes, that was a good move, which Srinath also pointed out. Let's see what the chat thinks. Nihal OP, bole so Nihal, says Ayush Rana. And Avinash says, Shri, I am also a Harry Potter fan. Who is not? Avinash,
All of
again.
this current generation is not Soumya.
Huh? They're not?
Yeah.
They're not Harry Potter fans?
Yeah.
Sorry, the game
Sadly.
I don't understand. I don't understand this statement.
The current generation, I mean, they just don't read books.
But they can at least watch the movie, no?
But
I'm sure
then the
they must
essence
have.
is lost.
But okay. Bishop h4 on the board. Srinath,
5
4
seconds
seconds for
remaining for
Nihal.
Nihal.
Yeah, 4 seconds for Nihal. We have to stick to what's happening. I'm concerned. Rook d6, e d6, bishop e7 incoming, bishop c6, bishop e7 maybe, rook e1. अभी white तो exchange up है. ब्लैक को देने की जरूरत नहीं थी एक्सचेंज, पर ब्लैक ने वॉलंटरीली दिया क्योंकि उनके पास बहुत सारे पॉन्स है and he's going to advance them. He has also 1.5 minutes extra compared to black. So that also helps. So he has won this pawn as well. So black has 3
Queen
pawns
b4.
for the exchange.
Yeah, black has 3 pawns and the attack has been repelled. A lot of these attacking pieces
Bishop e5
been traded.
No? Bishop e5 coming in, Srinath, if for queen b4.
Bishop e5, f6 was my idea, but yeah,
f6.
rook
No,
b1
bishop f6.
or just
knight f6, bishop e6, and your queen would be hanging.
nice. Oh no, mouse slip now. Mouse slip, and Nihal is just smiling.
Queen g7 he wanted to play. Oh.
Yeah.
What's happening today? Is Nihal tired?
Smile and despair there from Nihal. A mixture of expression. To be honest, Soumya, I'm not really sure about Nihal's resignation in the previous game, because look, it's understandable, but Nihal also lost one game in a very similar way. So it feels like he just gave up one extra point.
But I agree, Sri, but it's also a matter of principle and about what makes you happy as a human being, Like if you're going to be disturbed by it throughout the match, then it doesn't make sense. Like this happened to me once in a tournament in national championship. My opponent was in a better position. She was almost like a huge advantage. And my only hope was that she'll lose on time because it was a 40 move, like 1.5 hours, 40 moves, and then half an hour addition. And she was under huge time pressure. And she lost on time. Her flag fell. I mean, but then I hadn't checked the time just before she lost on time. I had checked it like 2 moves earlier because you are also under time pressure and you are playing. And then for like initially she denied that she lost her time. She said she had checked her clock. And I thought maybe she's just saying it out of, that pressure. Like at that moment, you're really worried. But then she was very sure that she had checked the clock. And for half an hour, she kept on like saying that. And at some point, I realized that why would someone lie? Like, if she's so convinced, then it must be true. And I actually agreed to play and I lost that game. And that is a very debatable situation. One of my friends said that you should not have given the point. The same thing happened to me and I took the point. The similar thing had happened to her and she took the point. So I just said no, it's about how you feel about it later. Because imagine I'd won that tournament, I'd become national champion, and later it haunts me forever that oh maybe I won a point which was not mine. So it's just a matter of feeling how you feel about it. So it depends from person to person.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, and I understand. Like, for instance, let's say my opponent loses 1 minute due to lag.
Huh. Huh.
In that case, I can understand that. I also don't make a move for 1 minute to make a level playing field.
Huh.
But my point is, in this case, Nihal lost it the first time. The same thing happened to him first, so he
Huh.
lost that 1 minute, and then it happened to his opponent. So in that instance, it basically just equalized. So that is, in that case, I feel that he need not give another extra minute because that just puts him at a disadvantage. Now, if it hadn't happened to Nihal and if it only happened to Ding, then I totally understand. Yeah, it was unfortunate. So Nihal gives back the point and I can totally get behind it. But it happened to Nihal already. And at that time, Ding did not resign on the next game, he just continued on. So in that case, he's just losing more, and that puts him at a disadvantage. And it's not really unfair to Ding in this case because it again happened to Nihal as well. So it was just an equally unfortunate situation for both the players.
Yeah, I mean, I understood your point, but I just feel like it's so personal, this decision, You can't really you can't really say from outside. Like it depends on what's happening within you rather than what needs to be, it's a very, very
Yeah,
personal.
it's I understand it's a bit I would say it's a bit of a emotional decision from Nihal in the moment thing, but also in these circumstances he can let things cool down a bit. And but yeah, anyway, it's kind of done, and despite that, it's still 4-4.
Yeah, it's just 4-4,
Right.
and there is nothing to despair. I mean, Nihal has been playing well. Both of them have been playing well. I think both of them have equal chances. I wouldn't say like so far in the match, irrespective of uh, what were our predictions. Both of them have been playing well, and there is so many games left. Why did he play Queen E7? Why not take? Okay, it's fine.
You could take Queen C5, no? Because Rook C8 check comes, Rook into C8 comes as a check.
Okay. No, I thought that's a double pawn and doesn't matter, but maybe he doesn't want to enter into endgame. Okay. So if we take, you're taking knight e5. So this is not possible because our queen will be attacked. And what else white can do? Can white take on c6 and play b4?
Uh,
Oh, and you might have
you
some problems
can,
with
but I don't think that pawn will last long in this cruel world.
pawn who chota to die. A slow death on c5. Uh, so what's happening?
It has to, I think, give back the pawn and try and get some f5 going in some way. f5, f6. I like queen c3 here.
There is Samay Raina fan probably says, let Ding play brilliant chess at the EOD.
End
EOD
of
क्या
the
होता
day.
है? Oh, at the end
At the
of
end
the
of
day,
the day,
all I want is Nihal should win. Okay. EOD. Oh,
Nihal
you
would
know all
need
this.
all the help from Samay today because Samay is literally deciding the games here.
That's true. That's true. I agree. Um, do you understand all this Gen Z slangs, Sri? Because you hang out with all the Gen Z people.
Yeah, but EOD is not. I think it's not quite Gen Z. It's just.
Oh.
It's just the corporate language because it has to be done by end of day. So people say stuff like, "I'll email by EOD. I'll have this sent to you by EOD." I think
Ah.
it just became common from there, and especially with the lockdown and the internet. He
All
goes
right.
for knight c6 and b2.
Yeah, so we have the position that we discussed on the board, and we also have a poll up on the channel about the point we were discussing about Nihal giving up a point voluntarily. Guys, let us know what you think. This is the best way we can get your thoughts in on that situation. Bishop b5. Bishop b5, nice intermezzo. The point is that after rook c7, take, and you go c6. It's a very good intermezzo, I would say. And a6 still doesn't work very well because you take and then you take all the pieces, you exchange. There are mass exchanges, and you get two rooks and a pawn for the queen as white. So this might not work in black's favor. Rook b6 can be played.
But rook b6, can't you take on c5?
So
Queen
rook
c5, queen
b6,
c5, rook
we
c5.
can't take with the pawn because the bishop hangs. So we have to take with the queen, and then we play rook b8, and we take on
Yeah,
d5.
and here I was hoping to insert some f5
f5,
because the
oh,
bishop on e6 doesn't have a good place, no?
that's true. And I'll take, you take back, and then all of these exchanges, and you simply play a3 and support the b4 pawn.
Yeah.
Fair. So bishop b5, Nihal plays rook b6. So he's going for the line we are discussing, rook c5, rook b8 on the board, f5 might be played. No,
But
a4,
yeah,
a6 and f5, a4,
now
a6,
f5 because ab5 you want a5. That's the point.
and you want a passer with this a pawn, protected passer in fact.
Bishop c8 might still be possible though.
Yeah, bishop c8 looks nice actually, Shri. Bishop d3, rook b4. Oh, bishop c6, rook b4 and rook d5. Oh, so bishop c6 with the idea to keep the a4 pawn protected. And now can we simply exchange? Oh, very
Yeah, I
accurate.
think now we can. And this has very good chances to draw for Nihal because with that bishop being traded, it's just rooks on the board and white doesn't have a lot for the extra pawn. 30 seconds remaining. If they agree to a draw before those 30 seconds run out, then we might have an extra game in the segment.
So whom do you think that favors? Because both of them are on equal score right now. Rook b6. We want to
Yeah,
support.
but probably favors Ding because I think the shorter the time gets, the stronger Nihal gets. Although today's match has been a bit strange with the loss of times, the lost on times, which again, I'm not entirely sure if Ding forgot about the time element, was too absorbed in the position, or if there was a connection issue there.
Yeah, we don't know actually. All these things we'll get to know only in the players' interview post the match. So that's something that the chat should really look forward to we'll either get the players on this channel or on the main channel. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's something.
But Nihal, I feel certain that he made the move and time ran out. Just by looking at his expressions, I can feel it.
And also, you know him so well, so I think you know what kind of moves he's going to miss and what kind of moves he's going to play.
Yeah, because he wouldn't have been so upset if he had lost on time without having made the move. Then he would have accepted it. And also, Nihal doesn't lose on time. It doesn't happen so easily.
All right. So we'll find
We
out.
are back to the zone, Soumya. We're back to the 10+1 zone.
Yes.
White is up by 2 pawns.
No, but we are winning the a5 pawn now. Okay, he'll play rook a8, king h7, and a6 maybe. Okay, let's take
Rook c1. His intention is rook c8 and rook f8. So he's still trying to set some problems. The king is just running away from the non-stop checks by black rooks. But how far can the king run? Rook a2 check, king f3, rook f5 check. We are back to the same spot where we started. The circle of life being pointed in this game.
So
and rook f5, king e4, rook a4, it's going to be a repetition.
It's going to be a draw. It's such a nice repetition. One of the coolest repetitions we have ever seen, definitely. And to have it in a blitz game. And oh my god, the game started? What?
Yeah, but I think it will be stopped, aborted. By
I think it will be aborted. Because there is no time. Yeah, the game has been aborted and we have a break now. Shri, I know that you have to go, but I would really like to take your views on how the match has gone so far before we go for a short break.
I think in terms of chess, Nihal has been the better player so far in this matchup, in this format against Ding, the speed chess format, especially in the situations with less than 10 seconds each. There, it feels like Nihal's moves have been better than Ding's, and that is such an important factor in this matchup. But it has not just been the chess in this match so far. We have seen a mouse slip happen. We have seen a couple of losses on time, a resignation by Nihal. So I think the player's ability to maintain the calmness and the emotion will also play a very important role in how the match turns out. Anyone who gets more emotional, more tilted, will likely just lose more games, play more worse, and so I think those are the two components. In terms of chess, Nihal has been, I think, a bit better, but he has to ensure that he keeps his balance emotionally.
Definitely. Maybe you could have a quick word with him in the break. And with that note, thank you so much, Sri, for joining us. It was super nice to commentate with you today and get your insights. Chat, we'll be back soon. Stick with us. We'll be back with Harshit and for the 3+1 segment. See you guys. we are back, and guess who's here? Harshit in bright red to cheer us all up. And Harshit, match देख रहे थे आप? Match start हो चुकी है, so let's go.
Yeah, the score is tied, Soumya. I'm so excited to be back for the 3-1 and the 1-1 section. We saw how crazy these matches can get in the Anish's match, so I'm hoping for another close match.
Absolutely, and it seems like you are going to get what you're hoping for today because अभी तो tied है और दोनों ही बहुत अच्छा खेल रहे हैं. I think the quality of games has been good from both of them, and as Srinath mentioned, there have been all these other factors about the time as well. So too many new things happening in today's match. Harshit, did you notice Nihal actually resigned the game because he did not he was not feeling comfortable about his previous win?
I did not see that, but that's very amazing sportsmanship to see. And Soumya, this is actually the same opening which Nihal had played in the CGC, the pawn sacrifice line.
And what happened in the CGC?
And he won that game against, I want to say, Anish. He won a very nice game, I think, or it was against Ring, not sure, but definitely he played this line with two bishops to get some counterplay very quickly on the king side. Going for all the attacks, I like it.
Yeah, and Nihal has been playing really interesting openings so far. Like even in the second game that he won, Harshit, he won in 19 moves. बहुत ही मस्त एक रूक सैक्रिफाइस लाइन प्रिपेयर करके आए थे वो, और बहुत अच्छा गेम है वो. वापस जरूर देखना आप स्ट्रीम के बाद. So another nice piece of preparation from Nihal here. Let's see how this game pans out. Ding has been taking his time in the openings. So far the trend has been that Ding has been taking his time in the openings, but he's trying to get strategic positions. तो ये एक अच्छी opening हो सकती है उनके against, because it's an open position and but now the queens are off. Harshit,
and Soumya, I have a question. Instead of bishop d3, why was rook d4 not played? It was a move which was asking to be played, and I'm very curious why rook d4 was not chosen.
Yeah, I also didn't understand. Does he not like knight b2 some sacrifice? Knight b2, king b2, rook b8, and queen a3, king a1 and queen a3. Is this what he did not like?
I have a hard feeling believing that, because rook d4, knight b2, I can even start with rook h4.
You can. Rook h4, I must play h6.
And I take...
Oh, bishop f5 is the point, Harshit. Bishop f5. I've asked the computer and he has replied.
All right, let's go back to the live position.
So after queen f5, queen h4 would be hanging. So this is complicated, but rook d4, nice suggestion there by Harshit. Bishop d3 was played instead. g6. And the queens are off, Harshit. So pawn down hai Nihal. And what does he have as compensation?
He does have two bishops, and I think that he definitely has good compensation, as the pawns are also doubled. The dark squares are weak. So definitely some compensation here, but black is also solid. But I think I would choose white here, Soumya. What about you?
I also really like white's position because it's not clear how these pawns are going ahead, you know. I mean, they are a bit stuck and they restrict black's activity also. So knight b7 could be a good move. Yes, knight b7 and c5. You have to get the pawns rolling. Otherwise, but then you also have bishop b5.
Yeah, a very nice trick, Soumya. c5, bishop b5, rook e7. There was rook into d5.
Oh, let's just show it. Bishop b5 attacking the rook, and rook e7 would fall for rook d5 because this rook is ideally placed on e1, and after bishop takes the rook, we would take the e7 rook for free. So we would regain our pawn with a good position. Rook a b8 played instead of c5, b3, c5, bishop b5 now. So rook e d8 खेला उन्होंने. He did not fall for the trap. Bishop c6, very nicely placed. Rook d6. So that was the point of rook के b8 कि उन्होंने rook को knight को पहले ही support कर दिया, so that when white plays bishop c6, you have this move, and Nihal actually goes back.
Yeah, I don't think he's maybe and saw this how strong this idea of rook d6 is, so wants to keep the two bishops and pressure on the board, Nihal, because black's pieces look a little miscoordinated. So I like his choice.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing for a win clearly, because here bishop d6, bishop b7, rook b7, bishop c5 would be an equal position, opposite color bishop position.
Black is better because rook c6.
Rook c6. Oh, this is the point, that once the bishop moves, you have rook b3. I missed this, Harshit. And that's why Nihal did not go for this. He, in fact, goes back. So, Harshit, this is the live position on the board. What do you think about it? And f6 played by D.
It's very complex. Rook e6 is always an idea. Maybe not now, but I think white should not commit to anything. Just keep the pressure, as it's 30 seconds each, time scramble, and these two bishops can be very deadly as the position opens up, Soumya. So very tense game.
Absolutely, and they have been most of the games are being decided in the time scramble only in the ISCC. So we'll see how this one goes. Rook e2. He has listened to your advice and kept the rooks. Rook e2, bishop d5, rook e7. Wow, he gives up the f3 pawn because bishop c4 and the king would be in some sort of an awkward position. Knight d6, attacking the bishop. Rook into c7. Knight b5 takes, and rook into b5. So opposite color bishop position with pawn down for Nihal Sarin. 8 seconds to go versus. Wow, c4 he played.
Whoa, but now rook b3 maybe.
Now if he takes, then we had en passant would have been a blunder, because the bishop on d5 would have been lost. They are going really fast now. Nihal. Okay, Nihal has sort of equalized. It's still a pawn down position, but lots of exchanges on the board. a3, the pawn is still alive and kicking. Rook c3 might be played. King d2, rook c4, and you pick up the a3 pawn, and this is completely equal. White being pawn down, but it is an easy draw, because at the end of the day, it's not easy to make a passer out of black's two pawns.
Yeah. I totally agree. So maybe we might have seen a rook bishop rook, but Nihal puts his rook on h6, and I think now it's clear that this game will be going into a draw. So nice defense by Nihal.
Yes, definitely, but they're still playing Harshit. So they are, now it's a completely drawn position, because and now they have agreed. So next game, it seems like neither of the players are offering each other any draws in this match. d4 fighting Liren, Nihal with the black pieces.
Yeah.
हाँ जनता like कर दीजिए stream को. That's true. Do like the stream, guys, so that we get more support for Nihal going. More people can reach out and watch Nihal's magic on the board. Oh, this is a great opening choice. I love this opening very much from both sides. But and after knight d5, lots of crazy things happen. b3, another interesting move. bc4, bishop b4, bishop d2. Even though the queen's gambit accepted is known to be a opening that can be played for a draw in the e4 line of the queen's gambit accepted, it gives dynamic chances for both sides, with black saving the pawn, not giving up the c pawn, and playing with a pawn up position. But of course, white's ahead in development. He has control of the center. And now he gives up the pawn to develop his bishop, create problems for white. Why doesn't white take on d4, Harshit? Maybe we can ask the chat.
Yeah.
Here queen d4, guys. आप खेलोगे और So क्या खेलेगा white? Let us know quickly because the game has gone ahead. Knight f3, castle, a5. Harshit, I'll get the live position on the board and please tell us what you think. This is it.
I actually thought somewhere that this opening is very risky against someone like Ding, who can be very, very well prepared against these lines which are kind of trendy. So a very risky decision according to me. But on the other hand, we've seen Nihal crawl out of difficult positions countless times, and maybe we will see another one of that. But if you look at the position, Soumya, White has excellent control over the center with his pawns on e4 and d4. Black's knight on b8 and rook on a8 are still not developed. The queen on b7 also looks awkward. So White definitely for choice here, but it will be up to Nihal to play accurately and defend this position.
All right. It seems like Ding has been able to get some superior positions in the last 2-3 games. At least that's been the trend so far. And Nihal has been on the back foot. But this was the trend in Anish's match as well. So, and in fact, this was what Magnus also said about Nihal, right? We were discussing that Magnus said that Nihal needs to improve his openings because that's the only place you can catch him. Otherwise, he's really, really strong. So, yeah, that's okay. He seems to find all these wonderful resources constantly and fight back.
Yeah, and if I could please ask our producer Bhai if we can update the 3+1 clock match time on the left, as we have 1 hour of 3+1 and 30 minutes of bullet in this segment. Bishop to a2 played, keeping the bishops on the board. I like this idea because that bishop on a2 can be very dangerous after it opens up with d5.
So this queen will never get into any problems because बहुत सारा pieces exchange हो गया, मतलब वो जो और एक ही piece exchange हुआ है minor piece, पर उसकी वजह से थोड़ा squares free हो गए हैं queen के लिए. So the queen is feeling very comfortable on b4, right? It's almost on an outpost.
Yeah.
We can call it that.
I think Black would like to trade many pieces as possible so that the d4 pawn becomes weak, and White would try to exactly, as I was wanting to say, open up the position with something like d5 and play very quickly because Black's pieces are still kind of not in harmony.
So, and Bishop b5 on the board, Harshit, because knight d7 का idea ही ये था कि हम knight b6 prevent कर रहे थे, and now it's actually a little awkward for white क्योंकि knight actually doesn't have any squares. So bishop b3 almost the only move, and defending the a4 knight f5. I feel Nihal is taking over.
Yeah, I like his position now with his knight when it comes to d6 is an excellent defender. And also covers a lot of squares. It's a very complicated position because I don't know if Black's queen on b4 is an asset or not. And if it is, then I guess Black should be doing very well. And if it's misplaced, then White should have enough counterplay. So very, very tense position already. And with 30 seconds for Deng only. So going to come down to the wire again.
Definitely. I really like rook e8 or rook f1 of the rooks. So I'm wondering what is Nihal thinking? Again, sometimes I just don't understand. He goes into these long things. He has already thought for about 30 seconds on this move. And it's really not clear. I mean, he needs to make a move. Why does he keep getting down to 10 seconds? He really likes that,
Yeah, knight d6 seems kind of logical. Maybe I'm missing something, but I have a feeling knight d6 might run into knight to d4.
Oh, so he goes queen d6. He wants to get out of this bishop c2 ideas, I guess. That's why he went queen d6. But now they're down to seconds. Nihal down to 14. Ding 23. What? Why is the bar so much in White's favor?
Because d6. d6, I think, Soumya. This, after the bishop opens up, white is just much, much better. I was emphasizing how important it is to block it, but now almost no time for Nihal, 6 seconds and very hard position. Oof, 95 coming in.
D7, look at this pawn, monstrous pawn. Knight
95.
E5, knight C5, all of them protecting the D pawn. Oh my god, this is getting very tough. Knight D8 and rook E8, maybe no. Knight
No,
E8
just
will next
bishop
move.
c4, queen c4, and
Queen B3 even.
yeah, I think
Queen
it's
G4. Oh, he's
resigned.
lost the piece. Yeah, because he's losing the piece after Queen G4 is not possible. So actually he's losing the piece on C4. So Nihal has resigned. Ting has taken the lead.
Yeah, Ting has taken the lead 6-5, Soumya. Still a long way to go though. So Nihal should still not be feeling very disappointed. And Samay Ryan asks if I will अर्शित भाई रुकेगा या आज भी क्लास बोल के चला जाएगा. आज तो मैं रुकूंगा, पूरा मैच देखूंगा, hoping कि Nihal, our boy, will take it home again, as we saw him beating in this anything in the CGC. And somewhere now we have some sort of anti-martial.
Exactly. Or knight D2 on the board. So anti-martial में pawn up भी नहीं है, तो black की तो ठीक ही लग रही है मुझे यहाँ पर. Also knight D2, अभी knight F6, preventing knight E4 maybe, and opening the bishop G diagonal. Bishop's diagonal, AB5, AB5, rook 8 is possible. Queen 8 wouldn't be possible because E7 is hanging, but knight F3 was played, C5. Again, it seems that both of them are okay, just it's a normal position. Bishop G5 is possible. Usually this bishop feels very happy if it gets to stay on this diagonal. Do you think black is at some point going to challenge him with bishop D5?
A very nice point, Soumya. Definitely the bishop on B3 who watches this diagonal on F7, G8 will be challenged at some point with bishop to D5. I think bishop D2, bishop D5 will, he goes for bishop D6. Also makes sense to put his bishop on this diagonal. I was thinking that white should have gone for bishop G5, as now I'm not sure where white's queen will go to, because it doesn't really seem like it has a very convenient way to develop, as bishop takes F3 will always be an idea. Knight H4, as you suggest, could be something that white is considering, but has to be careful about knight to E4.
E5 he plays, knight E5, but how are you going to follow up with F4? Because I will surely attack your knight, and then you want to go to G4 with your knight, all right.
Yeah, but knight D5 now, Soumya. This looks very good for black. Knight to D5.
Knight to D5. Great suggestion there by Harshit. Yeah, it seems the position is again tilting in black's favor. Is it possible to even take and play C4? But then you might run into bishop H6. But that again, you have F5 over there. So maybe even this plan is okay with taking on G4 and playing C4, blocking the bishop, but black goes for knight D5.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. And Soumya, it's very hard for white to make a move. These anti-martials can very quickly become very nasty for white. As we see here, F5 coming in, rook from A8 will be jumping into E8. And just look at black's pieces. Kya hi maza aa raha hai dekh ke pieces black ke. Queen C6 can also come somewhere. This looks tremendous.
It looks great for black, while white is definitely suffering. White doesn't have too many squares for his queen. The problem is, basically, to explain in layman terms, that black has more space and white is struggling to connect his roots.
Yeah.
These are the two problems that white is facing, and as a result, he also has very less pieces around his king. This bishop, if it were on F3 instead of on B3, it would have been a much better placed piece for now, because black is the one who is having the initiative. And oh, knight at 6.
Oh
Nihal
my
always looking
God.
for tricks. Nihal,
Oh my
very tricky.
God.
What's this?
Gh6, he wants bishop takes h6 first.
G8.
Attacking the rook and also mating idea. What an interesting resource, Soumya. Nihal always so sharp.
It's very interesting, yeah. And Nihal has been spotting all these really cool ideas in every game. But Nihal down to 20 seconds. Does he want to take bishop at 6, or does he want to play queen g4 first? I think queen g4 and queen f5 could also be. Oh, he goes for bishop at 6 first.
But now knight f4, I thought. Very good.
Knight f4, queen g4, and knight g6. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Blocking the queen's path. So maybe queen g4 first would have been a better move. Guys, rook a8 here. आप rook into a1 खेलोगे कि नहीं? नहीं खेला आपने, ठीक है. Now queen g4, because rook g8 will run into rook a8.
Queen h5 play.
And rook e8. Okay, he plays queen h5. So knight f6, is it possible?
Knight f6 looks very scary because of queen g5.
Queen f5. Oh, queen g5 is even better. Queen g5 and you are threatening checkmate, and another one.
Yeah, knight f4, very logical.
Queen f5.
Oh, he missed this. Oh my God, queen to f5. Oh no, now queen f6. It's what a big blunder by Ding. Soumya Nihal is winning now.
But that's all. That was already such a difficult position, Harshit. Like there might have been defenses, but it's so hard to find one. So
yeah, you're right.
Very natural looking move, but Nihal taking over now. f6, by the way, will run into rook a8, bishop a8, and rook to, or even rook to e8. Yes.
No, just that's bishop takes f8. Yeah.
Oh, even bishop f8. I thought rook e8 is classy because rook e8, queen f6 is checkmate.
Oh yeah, that was also very, very cool.
So,
lots of moves on the board, but what is this? Again, very complicated.
Rook g2 now?
What? Black is winning now. What happened?
I don't know what happened. Rook g2? He played bishop h2.
Simple.
And
yeah,
bishop
king
g2,
f1, bishop g2, and now black has many options. Queen e7.
Why is black winning? Oh, queen h4 and h6 is hanging, and
oh
my God! Oh my God! This got so crazy, this game.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Sorry. I think time was a crucial factor, guys. Time was a crucial factor, and look at that. Nihal very disappointed with him. Very disappointed with himself. Ding knows he got one away with. Soumya now down 2 points. He needs to calm himself.
Definitely. Do you feel Nihal is looking a bit tired in this match so far?
I don't think so. I think both players were it's just in this pressure situations, Ding managed to be very, very calm in this case and win that. Nihal was indeed much better, but Soumya, no time. And even if Nihal is extremely good with low time, it's very hard to find the best moves with such little time.
Definitely, Harshit, but I also feel like energy is playing a little bit of a role because of the kind of moves he's been missing. You know, we've been following Nihal play a lot of online chess last few months, and he's just played the Tata Rapid, Tata Blitz, and now he played the match against Anish, which was grueling, and this within a day's break. So it could be that he's a bit exhausted. That could play a role, but we don't know. He's 19 years old, and youth has its own pluses.
Here we have another interesting Catalan. Nihal going for the modern c5, cb4, and after cd5, ed5, black is definitely getting his own counterplay with something like bishop a6 being in the air. But of course, I think white will take on c6 now, maybe. And go something like knight f3 to e5, put the other knight there. He can even go knight df3, as you point out. So, uh, pretty classical Catalan position that we see.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And I feel like the trend for this match is going to continue. Things are going to be very strategic in this game as well, and we decided in the time scramble.
Yeah.
It's been the theme of the day so far. Bishop b7, bishop a6, e2 pawn काफी weak हो सकता है after bishop a6. So black has his targets as well. White is not the only one playing.
Knight f1, such a beautiful move, Soumya, to bring the knight on e3, cover the e2 weakness, as well as put pressure on the d5 pawn. Ding Liren is there. What a player, Soumya.
Class. And it seems like he's a little bit fresher also, because it's not that late in China.
Mm-hmm.
We have been informed that it's around 11:30 p.m. right now in China. So not so bad, considering he's played a lot of online games at 4 and 5 in the morning as well. So this must be quite fresh for him. He must be feeling quite fresh, and lots of green tea at hand, I'm sure.
Yeah. And now, Soumya, something like rook a8 and rook into e3 is a big idea.
Rook e3 is always a threat, and if we get that, we are super happy, because g3 and everything becomes super weak. So why not rook a8 here?
Maybe, rook a8, even bishop a6 we can start with. We can start with bishop a6 and then go rook a8, so that the e2 pawn is weak.
But then we give up the c6 square, so that's something we need to consider.
That is a good point. So complex,
so
but he goes for it. Because queen d2, there is knight e4.
Knight e4.
Yeah.
And then knight g3 even. And that's terrible for white. So he has to play queen d3. It's the only move.
But then queen b3 will run into something like something crazy, a4.
No, but we can take, because a8 is not protected.
But queen a4, rook e3 we already have.
That's the point.
Complex. Soumya, in the meanwhile, did you see this movie of Akshay Kumar?
Oh, he's given an exchange sacrifice.
My God.
Harshit, exchange Kumar stunts happening on the board. We don't need to watch the movie.
But shouldn't black be extremely happy now?
Bishop this is E2. Great.
Just exchange up, put the bishop on f3.
No, this is awesome for black. Black is definitely in the driver's seat. No, Ding basically did not find a move for bishop a6. As you mentioned, queen b3 ran into a4, and he couldn't really refute it.
Wow.
So all black needs to do is play well here onwards, and he's going to win. He has extra time as well. He has half a minute extra. And everything in black's favor.
Something like rook into e3 is also definitely in the cards, by the way. fe3, put the bishop on c4, and you don't need to do it. I thought that the a4, a3 pawn will run away, but I guess it's hard to protect the b4 pawn. Otherwise, it would have been very deadly.
Also, our mutual coach, former coach Farooq sir, would be very upset to see us complicate the position in a winning position.
That is true.
Usually, it's a good advice to keep the position simple if you are material up.
So just rooks.
Let's just hope he's not watching. Okay. King f1, rook b7 maybe.
Yeah, rook b7.
We want to exchange pieces, no? We want to exchange the rook.
And then push a4, a3 and create a pass pawn. They're definitely going to be the idea of Nihal as he goes rook b7 with the idea of a4, a3. And I think we might see resignation soon.
No. Ding is not in a mood to resign. He's playing. But okay. I think Nihal will convert this for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think he might resign soon, honestly, because a3 pawn is just unstoppable. And yeah.
Nihal is also up ahead on time, down to 2 seconds. Knight c3,
Bishop C.
bishop
B3.
b3, king
A2.
g2, a2 for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
A2 and rook a2 pre-moved. Not yet.
Just goes rook C7. Why not?
Why not? Because why not? All
Yeah.
right then. Rook up position, but Ding is playing because he wants to maintain his lead. He doesn't want to give too much time to Nihal to come back. So he's a point up.
He resigned.
Huh.
So 1
And there is a
point
break.
now.
Yeah,
1 point
Harshit.
difference.
Yeah, and it seems there is a break. As we can see, the players just got up from their seats. So we can also take a breather. 1 point difference. Not bad.
Yeah,
and also,
getting close. I like it.
Also, usually, they say in a Swiss League tournament, if let's say there is a rest day, then it's always important to win the game before the rest day. So break से पहले game जीतना अच्छा लगता है हमेशा.
For sure. And Soumya, I just would like to remind some of the viewers, if they are not sure, that India has gotten another grandmaster very recently, Aditya Mittal, in El Llobregat chess tournament happened in Spain. So another Indian junior who was extremely talented finally got his grandmaster title. It was just about time, Soumya. Amazing news for the Indian fans.
Absolutely. And Aditya, in fact, we shared this in the previous stream as well. Aditya, very, very hardworking boy.
Yeah.
Very persistent family as well. His mother accompanies him everywhere. And he also finished third in the same tournament. Not just the fact that he crossed 2500 and completed the ELO requirements for Grandmaster title. He in fact finished third in the very strong ELO Brigade tournament.
Yeah.
Tournament you have great memories of, Harshit. You made your first GM norm there.
Yeah, I made my first GM norm in that tournament too. So very nice memories for me too. So let's take a very quick breather and be right back and catch up on the action.
we are back. So we were discussing some dares for Harshit, uh, and we will try to make them happen in the 1+1 section because that's the best suited time because now the game has started.
Yeah, and we see a Reti from Nihal and a very, very solid setup chosen by Ding to put his bishop on h7, knight d7, knight c5, queen b6, very logical moves. Whereas, absolutely, as you mentioned, this idea of queen b2, b4 will be something that Nihal would want, and he does it. So, very typical ideas here. Now, bishop d6 can also sometimes be played with the idea of e5, as you mentioned. But I think we would see something like knight to c5 here, stopping b4, but he goes for bishop d6. Soumya, very solid structure. So should be interesting to see if Nihal can outplay Ding in such a solid position.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, both of their styles are quite similar, na? Like if you just okay, of course, in SCC it's a lot about time management, but in general, if you see in classical chess, they are both positionally very sound, and yet they find all these tricks and are also very resourceful. I feel Ding also extremely good in defense and resourceful, and Nihal as well.
No, I completely agree. Both players have similar strategies, and both players can be very, very dangerous with initiative. Queen b6 played by Mr. Ding, and now it's up to Nihal whether he wants to take control of the queen side with c5 or whether he wants
Oh.
to wait and see what Black's idea is. He goes rook f b1, just develops this move. And this is what I was mentioning, Soumya. Nihal is so good in making these moves like rook fb1, which are not very natural to someone like us, but a very nice improving move.
Yeah, it's very nice. It would be very interesting to see how he handles this side, as you mentioned, because this is a purely strategic game, and so far, Ding has been getting those kind of positions, and now Nihal is the one who is going to show his ideas in a strategic game. So, I mean, so far he's always been on the defensive, and this time he gets to be on the offensive. So, we'll get to see how he handles it. B5 he has gone for. So he's given up the C5 square. On the other hand, he wants control of the B5 at
Yeah.
some. By the way, chat, we have to be very careful while making a move like D4 because the bishop on H7, don't forget about him. He's a sniper looking at B1. So D4 cannot be played while the rook is still on B1.
He's,
So
he's like a sniper waiting for the window to be opened up, and as soon as the window is opened up,
queen c2 again in the eye of the bishop. So these are moves which sometimes you play in these hyper bullet games and boom, queen down.
queen gayab.
Queen c2, knight d7 back. He wants to play c5, I guess.
But it's hard to make it work.
Huh?
Hard to make c5 work as the d5 pawn would always be a little vulnerable. But if he can get c5, he might definitely consider that move.
Then why did he go back knight d7 voluntarily?
Because
He wants to play
bishop a5
e5.
was a threat.
Huh?
Bishop to a5 was a threat to pin the knight on b6.
All right. Bishop a5. So again he comes back knight c5.
Queen a7 maybe. Okay, he comes back to
maybe again knight d7. Or bishop d6 looks okay here.
Rook b8 maybe I think could be played.
Oh, or rook a8 even. Both the moves are fine. Oh, see knight d6.
Back.
Now rook a1. Rook a1. How is this idea bishop a5? But you want to go rook a8.
Rook a8, yes, solid.
Both of them playing a waiting game and not being very committal, not making any pawn moves, huh?
Soumya, nowadays everyone wants to be very open. No one wants to commit to anything.
Acha. Getting a lot of insights there about the current generation. Rook A2, Bishop G6. I was talking to Srinath about this. Does he understand all the Gen Z slangs? Because he hangs out a lot with Gen Z now. So, you want to teach me some Gen Z slangs, Harshit?
Nope. I think we should stick with chess.
Okay. So, Bishop G6 out, F6. So, finally, he's made a pawn move, but I don't like it. How can F6 be any good? It does blunt the bishop, but on the other hand, it weakens the E6 pawn and it gives you additional targets as white to play for.
I think he wants bishop f7 and e5 and to play something like this and get control over the center. I think that is his idea. 19 seconds for Nihal to Soumya. Again, a time scramble. We keep on seeing this repetitively. The match getting down to the wire and he's queen b2 played.
Queen b2 played. Maybe rook b8 will be played now. Oh
Bishop
no, bishop f7, queen a1. Very tricky move. Idea was to take on a8, but black was alert, exchanged it. Now e5 is still not possible, guys, because you keep an eye on d5.
Yeah, e5, cd5, knight b6 could still be something that black could consider. Queen b7 protecting the d5 pawn coming on the open file. 7 seconds for Nihal. Knight b3.
And knight a5.
I'm scared for his time.
Bishop b4 maybe. Bishop b4 might be a good move here. Or do you simply play a move like e5 and allow knight a5 because you still have queen a8? Yes, knight e5 on the board, knight a5, queen a8, keeping the d5 pawn protected. Knight is pinned, c6 is attacked. Can we play knight c5 now? Yes, queen c6 would be a mistake, I thought. Oh no, knight was hanging. So this is equal. Yeah,
very equal, but black is slightly better as white's knight on c6 is misplaced. But of course, the logical conclusion of this game should be a draw.
Yeah, this is a very, very equalish position, but both of them down to seconds, and as we saw, neither of them is ever, offering a draw. So I think they'll just keep on making moves and play till the very last pawn is left.
Yeah, but now it's it's a complete draw with equal pieces on the board and symmetrical structures. But maybe we can see Ding try a little bit.
It's clear that he's trying. Why do we call these kind of structures equal is because there are lesser decisions to take. Yeah, and that's a draw. There are lesser decisions to take when you have pawns left on the same side and you don't have to worry about the other side at all. So you can just completely focus on one thing. It's like deciding to play only chess and leaving studies for it, like not just
Tell me about it.
Bishop e2 and this is a King's Indian structure taken by black. Actually, Ding loves to play King's Indian, but Nihal also plays King's Indian sometimes. Ding is a huge specialist in King's Indian, so उनको बहुत पसंद है. But actually, white is a move down. क्योंकि guys, did you notice here white played e4, e3, sorry, bishop e2, d6, knight c3, knight b d7, castle, e5 and e4. So white usually gets this position with white to play. But it's not too much, that's the thing about being white, that खराब नहीं होती आपकी position.
Depends on the opening, I would say. In a very sharp position, a move would have a much bigger importance than in a closed position. So, but it of course helps to be a move up from the beginning. Soumya, I wanted to ask the chat, what do they think the score will be in the 3+1 section? In the end, it is now 3-2 for Ding with 20 minutes on the clock. Guys, what will the score be in the end?
Yeah, and the guy, and if you can guess it right, then we will give out a diamond membership. So let's see if any of you can guess it right. What do you think, Harshit, is going to be the score at the end of 3-1?
I think the score will be
So only for the 3-1 section. Right now the score is 7.5, 6.5. And after the 3-1, what do you think?
I think the score will be 9-7 for Ding.
Wow. You think he's going to take the 3-1 section and
Yeah.
Nihal will have to try and fight it out in the bullet.
That's what I think, yes.
I think it will be so how many games are they going to get in? You think they're going to get in 3 more games, kya?
I think, yeah, 2 more games. And Chris says that the score will be 9-9 at the end of 3-1 and 15-13 in favor of Nihal. I think this is also what the smart AI predicted. Ronit Singh says 8.5, 7.5 Ding's favor. Ojesh Sharma says 5-4 to Nihal. And Samay Raina says 5.5, 4.5. Nihal will lag by 1 point, and then Nihal and Bullet will take it home. Soumya, what do you think?
I think it's going to be a tie at the end of the 3-1 section. And actually, there was a poll on our channel, and that's what I voted for. But I'm not trying to influence anybody's votes. खुद का vote खुद देना चाहिए अपनी opinion, अपने research के ऊपर. So आप decide करना और vote जरूर करना. Vote करना important है, guys. So Bishop G5. Now, actually, Nihal is just waiting. It's a pure waiting game. F4 जैसी move खेलोगे तो E4 pawn weak हो जाएगा. So black will have targets. On the other hand, white trying to pressurize the F6 knight. Knight H5 will be
Bishop
met.
D8.
Oh, oops.
Yes. Big
Missed
oops.
it. And rook down हो जाएंगे.
And
But
knight CD7 runs into C5, Soumya.
तो जाए तो जाए कहाँ? Knight FD7 only move, हाँ?
करे तो करेगा, फिर भी घोड़ा रुक मर रहा है D8 पे. बहुत मुश्किल है.
Exchange.
बहुत मुश्किल. Queen E7.
Queen E7, Queen H4. Ding playing so strong. मतलब हर एक आइडिया वो स्पॉट कर रहे हैं और वो भी इतनी कम टाइम में, showing us what it means to be a world class player.
Yeah, and now F4 now can be a very nice idea as the knight on F6 is pinned to the queen on E7 and rook on D8. So F4 E5 is a big idea here for white, Soumya. Nihal down to his last 40 seconds. Knight CD7 played, but this looks a little passive for black, I must say.
Yeah, there is a good comment on chess.com chat, like on the server. It says, I think in this particular position, only white can really win unless Ding gets into time trouble. Very well put there. Exactly our thoughts. But that has been, that is going to happen, no? Like we are seeing players get into time pressure in every game.
Yeah, and now look at Nihal's clock is down to 40 seconds, but he gets at 6 at least, Soumya, so at least he's getting rid of the pin.
Yeah, this is already fine now. H6 has been a good achievement for black in this position. I think our producer G wants to know if Harshit has gotten a new chair, but we don't have a view of Harshit right now, so we'll stick Ding and Nihal's views. Yeah, Harshit has got a very nice chair there.
It's a very nice chair, but it is not a new one. It's the old one, but I'm just giving you a nice view of it. It's very comfortable. I can even rock back and forth.
Oh, how nice. I've been wanting to change my chair. It's like this. I don't recommend anybody to get a chair whose back is like wo spring wala back, which you can like do this. I don't think it's good in long term. It gives you back problems. F4, any C5. But your chair looks nice because it's like big and it supports your whole back.
Maybe now F5. Yeah, I was mentioning G5 now something like some attack somehow on the king side, but it's not easy. It's not easy.
Oh, this looks good for black. I would love to take this as black. Yeah, Bishop E5 पे आ गया, क्या problem है? Achievement of the King's Indian.
Yeah.
queen g7 भी आ जाएंगे next हम. Okay, knight f6, not allowing f6. Now queen g7 for sure. Looking at this pawn.
No, I think
Making a
Nihal
bad
might take over. Yeah, h5, g4
Yeah.
can come in, Soumya.
Nihal taking over 100%. And b5 on the board. Bishop a6. He's playing on both sides of the board. Not allowing, not clarifying things. h5 on the board. g4 coming in. Oh my god, checkmate ही हो जाएगी white पे तो अगर यही हाल रहा.
h3, I thought gh3 should have been played, but he gives
Why
up
did
the
you play
e4 pawn.
gh3? We don't know. We won't know. Oh my god.
What a crazy
h1,
move.
knight g3 and knight f1. Knight d8 will be played. Bishop h2, knight g3, knight c6, knight e2, king h1. 2 less time for both of them. Knight into
2
c1.
seconds, one.
Knight
Oh my
g3,
god,
knight
Nihal
e2,
has no
knight g3. Are
time.
they going to repeat?
No,
Rook
Nihal
c8.
says no.
It's not
Queen
possible.
g5.
Knight
Nihal should be
e7.
better. Should be much better.
Nihal should be better according to Harshit. And yes, we agree. Rook e1 check. Rook e1 check. Rook e3. Wow. Queen trap.
f6.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What? Wow.
Oh.
Oh my god. This was such a blunder. Rook h3 check. He missed.
And
Oh,
Nihal, look at his
Nihal.
expression. Look at his
What a great
expression.
game. Nihal with a fist bump in the end. Did you notice that, Harshit?
Yeah, very, very happy. What a game.
He's been so expressive throughout this match. He's really enjoying this. He's really getting back into his rhythm, you know?
Yeah. Wow, that was a huge win. Tying the score, Soumya, 7.5, 7.5. And now it's very unclear what's going to happen. Because if the game goes to the bullet section, Nihal should be a big favorite. But we saw the other day how Anish managed to surprise all of us. So I don't know what to expect.
Yes, absolutely. Samay Rana asks, this is not Samay Rana for sure, but Samay Rana's fan asks, or maybe it is another person named Samay Rana. That's possible, of course. Do you think, like last time, AG and Ding this time is trying to create pressure on Nihal in the opening part and then take 2 times scramble where things are getting out of hand? Yes, exactly. That's exactly what's happening. Well spotted there, Samay.
Yeah. And now Nihal playing this very solid Royal Lopez, maybe wants b4 as you mentioned, a4 could be also something that he would look forward to. c4, a very nice idea, blunting the bishop on a2 and taking away its control from the d5 square. And now also knight b3, I don't know how, or bishop h6. I even thought knight b3 could be interesting. Very tense position already.
Yes. And again, white is lacking space. Black has more space on the board. But yeah, in Royal Lopez, sometimes these things happen. White is never too much worse in the Royal Lopez, right? He always has something to play for, like the d6 pawn in this case.
Yeah. Bishop a2,
Rook misplaced on a2.
And now
for
d5.
sure.
Maybe.
No, d5, e5 is hanging, so you need to be careful.
Yeah, it goes knight c4, queen d3. Looks fairly even, reminds me of a Najdor structure, honestly, somewhere. Where
Neither with all the pieces exchanged except for the knights, which is fine for both sides. And this rook, it is definitely misplaced, but queen h6, Nihal always wanting to attack Ding.
Wow, going for the mate.
Be careful, guys. यहाँ पे a5 ऐसी कोई मूव मत खेल देना क्योंकि knight g5 के बाद h7 पे force mate है. So queen e7 might be a good move. f6 is a good move.
You don't need to go f6. Maybe you can wait for knight g5 and then go f6.
Yes, but for that also you need to. Yeah, he goes f6 just in case. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to blunder something. Queen e7 now.
I think b3 rook a d2 could be white's idea, Soumya, to bring the rook from a2 to d2 and then even go something like h4, h5 in the future.
Oh, that's nice. b3 removing the knight from c4 and taking control of the d2 square, but he'll go to a5, Harshit, and you still go rook to d2, right?
Yeah, but then maybe rook d8 could be, and the b3 pawn could be weak. So he goes for h4 directly. I like it, trying to create some weakness on the king side. Nihal, and in blitz, Soumya, this is a very, very nice move.
This is a great move. And queen c6, what? But what if we play h5? You want to take on e4? Is that what black wants? Yes, that is what black wants.
But then there is b3.
And then what if we play b3? Yeah, and we take on d6. This could get very risky for black.
Very risky, and h5, g5 could be another idea for Ding, but then maybe we could even consider knight g5 ideas.
That's fine. Maybe starting with b3, yeah, more effective. Starting with b3 as Nihal has done. So you bring the other rook into the game,
and
the rook on a2 is no more a piece that you need to worry about. It's already out. There are no queen b1 check ideas after queen e4.
And Soumya, after rook a d8, we can already see h5, g5, knight into g5, f into g5, and queen g5, king h8, h6 ideas being very, very dangerous, because you can show, because rook a d8,
this is great, Harshit. Such a great spot there.
g5, take, queen g5, king h8, h6, and if the queen, rook g8, there is queen f6, checkmate.
Wow. h6 and literally what? Probably no defense, because queen c7 we have rook d6.
Yep, exactly.
So black needs to be extremely careful in this position. No easy answers. Rook f7 would run into queen d8. Rook d7 would run into rook d6 again. Your rook can't move because it defends the important g7 square from checkmate. So beautiful line shown by Harshit there. Rook a d2. Black replied with knight to b7, not rook a d8. Yeah, knight b7 a better defense. But h5 now will. Do you want to play g5 at the moment?
Yeah, because now after rook f7, there will be no rook on d8 that will be hanging. So you can defend the mate and be fine. The pawn on d6 is also well defended. So I think that was the idea of Ding. He goes for rook d5, Nihal. Not sure what his idea is though.
Rook d5. I think his idea is to go this rook to d3 and then g3.
Yeah, maybe that. Even h5, g5, knight h2, knight g4 is an idea, Soumya, to put pressure on the f6 pawn and then bring the rook, as you mentioned, from d3 to f3. Could be a very nice idea as well.
I'm enjoying this position as white. I think Nihal as well. I'm sure Nihal must be having a lot of fun, but he has only 11 seconds and Ding with 20. Oh my God. Again a time scramble. What's happening in this match? They are just entering these crazy positions with 10 seconds on the clock. It could be anybody's game. Again, rook f7 maybe. Yeah, it's a good defensive move. Yeah, he has played. Rook f7, rook 1 d3, knight c5. Oh, he blundered the pawn.
He just blundered the pawn. But there is e4 is hanging, so still complex.
Oh, okay then. Here, rook c1 would have been a good move. Knight e2. No, it would have been a blunder because of knight e2. So, rook e1. So, here he did not take because of rook e8 check and mate.
Let's just stick with the live board, Soumya. Many moves happened. 5 seconds on the clock. What is happening? Let's just stay with the board, as we both players are literally playing with no time.
No time and bad position for Nihal. But knight d5, resourceful. Nihal always very resourceful here.
But queen h1, yeah.
Oh, rook f2, rook f2, rook f2. And queen e5, rook g6 maybe. Yes, and queen g7.
Oh, lost on time.
Into knight e7. Oh, he won on time. What's happening in this match?
Ding not having the best connection, Soumya, and here we can see it completely winning, and now he just loses, Soumya. And now Nihal is definitely going to take that win with 4.5 minutes on the clock. I'm totally surprised, as the score could be 9-2 2-8, but in the favor of Nihal. And look at Ding, he's so disappointed, Soumya. What a miss that
This
was.
is the second time that his move has not reached the server, or something went wrong on his end. We don't know what exactly, but it's the second time that he has got flagged in a completely winning position in the match, Harshit. And Nihal also, by the way, the same thing happened to him once. So both of them have lost at least 1 point each, and Ding actually lost 2 points there.
Crazy, crazy, Soumya. It's crazy how one miss can, change the score from being equal to being 2 points down now with 4 minutes on the clock. And Soumya, if Ding does not win this with 3 points less going into the bullet, I said this again with the match in Anish, but even more so in this match, Soumya, it's going to be a very, very uphill task, almost as tall as the Sahara mountains to catch up with Nihal and Bullet.
Yes, I think it's a difficult. I am taking time to recover from the last game, so I cannot imagine what's going on through Ding's mind. I'm sure he's still in that game. Just look at his expressions. He's still in that game. He has not yet reached this game. He's only making moves. His mind is still in the last game. It is very difficult to recover from such things, especially when they happen for the second time, because they could also happen for the third. You don't trust your server anymore. You don't trust your internet connection anymore.
Yeah, and Soumya, he was he was plus 10, so in a position where
It was
White had
two rooks
absolutely
up.
no chance.
It was two rooks up, right? Or one
Two
rook
rooks
up.
up. Yeah, but
Huh.
also I want to emphasize that this is blitz. Things like this happen, and this is where Nihal excels at, to put their opponents under pressure when the clock is low, and it's just part of the game. Nihal happened to be on the better side here, and now he's sacrificed a queen, Soumya.
Yeah, but it's good compensation, Harshit, because rook d2 and f2 is hanging. I think it's very good compensation. Okay, you lose rook d1, very strong move, but rook d7 maybe. No,
Yeah,
I
I
think
love
it's
it for
great
black.
compensation.
I love it for
Yeah,
black. Rook
it's
d7. I would actually prefer black in a blitz game, Soumya.
exactly. I think it's easier to play as black because white has to watch out for a lot of tricks, and black's position very solid. All his pieces are defended. King is safe. Usually, such positions are okay to play with this material imbalance. When the king is not safe, the queen is very strong. But here it's okay.
Yeah, and
But
I
we'll
would.
see now. Maybe this is the game we see Ding Lijen's class. He shows us what is the difference between 2800 former 2800 player and others. No, because those guys, they don't lose small advantages. They really are very good at converting. But of course, the time situation is going to make
F5, I don't like this move, honestly.
F5 looks good. Queen e2 will run into F into e4.
It creates weaknesses, I felt. And Venkatesh asks, what are Sahara Mountains? And Chris replies, Sahara Mountains is liberty of commentator to mix up desert with mountain. I actually wanted
But
to say Mount Everest.
yeah, I know. I know. I was hoping no one will notice, so I just crossed that mountain. Harshit, I just crossed that mountain. I was like, let's not go back. Oh God. Hilarious. Rook f7. Is Nihal taking over? Because fe4 is in the
Wow.
air, f2 hanging. What does white have?
Wow. That's an amazing idea, because now FE4, and you can see Ding is just frustrated, and we can see actually Soumya, Nihal taking over this game because of how things went in the last game. One just has to consider what had happened before, and because of that, Ding is under big psychological stress.
Definitely. And Ting has, oh God, I can totally feel for him now. Look at him. Look at his face.
Very
He's just
upset.
so frustrated. He's
Queen
very
e6.
frustrated with what has happened so far. Bishop h4 as well. All
Wow,
the
there are
pawns are
too
just
many
falling.
pawns, yeah?
Yes. One by one, all the pawns are falling. But now d5 or e4, one of the pawns will
That's,
also fall. So
yeah.
maybe not so bad for white as it appears at
Yeah.
first glance.
With queen, there are always perpetual check ideas. So, guys, still very much in the game. Guys, what do you think? Will Nihal will Nihal clean sweep in the bullet, or do you think Ding can still make a comeback? It's going to be very interesting to see. I'm pretty sure this segment of this match is going to be 9-8 for Nihal. One game up. Going one game up. Do you think Ding has any chances, or do you think apna boy Nihal will finish this? And Soumya, if he wins this, he goes into the semi-finals.
Yes, but this is going to be a draw, so he's going to win this game and go into the 1+1 area with a point lead. That's great news already.
Yeah. And wow, Nihal is going all the way up, but has to be careful. Has to be careful, Nihal.
Yeah, this rook shouldn't be blundered. That's the only point. G3 maybe. I mean, even without the bishop, maybe this position is equal, right?
I don't think so, because
Okay, let's not go there. But I'm just saying for understanding sake. Can we play G4 here? No, white cannot play G4 because King F6, Queen E6, and Rook F5 he had.
yeah.
So Rook F6, Queen D3 maybe.
But we can see white is under 5 seconds, and Soumya again we can see Ding thinking that it's deja vu with only 2 seconds on the clock.
My God.
And look,
What's
this
up?
is exactly what he had to
Queen
avoid.
D6.
Rook D2 and E2 is coming.
Oh my God, what just happened?
To avoid this. And again, Soumya, I was telling you, with 2 seconds on the clock, Ding is just not comfortable enough to play this kind of positions.
Queen D4, Queen D7,
Queen D7 now
F5,
also.
Queen F5.
I don't like
Queen
what
C8, and this is
but
G6.
now again G6 and E2.
And
Finito.
Bishop H4 and finito.
Yeah, and look at Ding. He's so frustrated. Soumya. Have to feel for him, but what a performance by Nihal. Soumya, 2 points up, guys. 2 points up.
Definitely huge for Nihal, and Nihal is great at all these time scrambles, as we have been mentioning again and again. Nihal has been, I think Nihal's main quality is he plays the current position, and that is really helping him get those half points, 1 point, extra half point, extra 1 point in tricky situations. Ding definitely couldn't recover from the previous game, Harshit.
Yeah.
This was a clear case of losing the next game as well. Losing twice to the same opponent because of the same mistake. Yeah, that's what
tough, Soumya. But there is the bullet section coming up very soon, and Ding will be down 2 points, trying to make a comeback. Nihal, on the other hand, will be trying to not lose his lead. Soumya, let's take a quick break. I'll just get some water, and we'll be back with a lot of action-packed bullet chess.
guys, we are back, and Harshit is yet to join. So because he's on a water break, so it's just me here and Nihal and Ding mainly. So Nihal is white in the first bullet game. Nihal with a 2-game lead in the match so far. Ding quite upset, visibly upset there after that loss in the second last game of the 3+1 section, looking to come back. First of all, he needs to equalize the score and then think of winning. So Nihal comfortable here with a 2-point lead. Let's see how this match goes.
And
F3.
Soumya, I actually had the same position against Nihal in a rapid tournament, which Nihal had later tricked me and won. But uh, I have I've faced
Story
this
of
position
Nihal's
with black.
life. You have faced this as black or white?
I've played this as black, I wanted to say.
Oh. Wow, and your position was exactly the same, you say?
Not now, but until bishop g4. Yes, and now we see Nihal taking over kind of the d4 square and not allowing any counterplay. Maybe he will go rook e3, rook a1 next, Soumya. But has to be worried about knight to g4. So let's see.
Knight g4, a very nice point there, but in this case not working because rook e7 attacks the queen and we pick up the queen. So knight c4 played by Ding instead. Rook e7, queen into e7, rook e1 attacking the queen. In my experience in bullet chess, the more captures you need to make, the more time you lose. So it's a good idea to force your opponent to make captures in case they are low on time. In this case, Nihal is lower on time compared to Ding. So that's one factor. Queen d8, knight d4, rook e8. Also, guys, don't forget there is a 1 second increment. So pre-moving will help, but 1 second increment also helps.
I love this with white, Soumya. Going into the endgame as the light square bishop is going to be taken advantage of as the pawns are all on the light squares and white is simply winning a pawn now.
Bishop a4 hanging also, Harshit.
But
so,
knight c4.
Knight c4 and a5 hangs, right? So knight d5, Ding has given up a pawn, but now maybe if we get
d3.
b4 at the right time, then we actually create a passer. So king e2, king d3 and b4 could be a plan. Now bishop c2 is the idea. Ding being very tricky. Knight a3, very good move there by Nihal, controlling the c2 square.
Knight d4.
Harshit. Oh, wow. What do you have to say about this maneuver of...
I think king e1, king d2. Yep, plays it. I like it. I like it a lot. And then you get knight b3 check, also trying to kick some... Oh, knight c2, he goes idea, knight e3.
Oh.
Yeah, does it. And just...
And g4 maybe? Oh, no.
Just take
g4 would actually trap the bishop, but do we ever want to play that is the question.
Yeah,
but
this
now
is
the
very
bishop
good,
is
Soumya.
out.
Very nice conversion, f4. And then he's going to play c4 next and king c3. And very, very beautiful way of playing this by Nihal. I love it. And now just needs to remaneuver his knight to d5 or d3 and king to d4 and take home this extra pawn and convert it. Soumya, amazing play by Nihal.
He's been very good in this game so far, like just taking control of all the key squares. Resignation coming in by... Oh,
and
Ding
lost
loses
on time. Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah, he lost on time. Oh, my God. Ding's story of Ding's match. He has lost 3 games on time so far, but that position was also bad. So, to be fair to Nihal, this game was his anyway. Nihal with 3-point lead.
Yeah, Soumya. I mean, we actually know how good Nihal can be if he connects, if he starts connecting his moves with his intuition. He can be extremely dangerous in the bullet time control. And we saw him taking the first game. And it's going to be very, very hard for Ding to come back now with 3 points down and only 25 minutes left on the game clock.
Definitely. Harshit, do you think this is a good time to do the dare we had discussed in the break?
So
You guys,
guys, yeah, Soumya, tell us about the
मैंने
dare.
हर्षित को एक डेयर दी थी कि अगर बुलेट में जाएंगे तो हर्षित should do a commentary with the American accent that he doesn't have yet but might have anytime soon. So let's go, Harshit.
I really don't know why I'm doing. I have agreed to this. I always get caught on these streams to agree to do something which I don't like. But all right, Queen to F5 played by Ding, and now Bishop B7, Bishop C8 could be an idea. Bishop takes F6 is in the air. Soumya, Rook to E2, followed by Rook to A1 is also going to be in the air. I don't like Black's position because the Bishop on B2 is also opening up. Nihal trying to hold on with Queen to D8 and protect the Knight on F6, but Knight H4 to Knight to F5. Soumya loving this for White.
Could this be an option here, Harshit? Sorry, I'm not going to do that ever again. I promise. Yeah, what do you think? Knight D5 was possible? Or Knight H6?
Yeah, no, the Bishop on B2 and the Knight on F5 Soumya is just too deadly.
Knight
I
H6.
I don't believe that tactics should work in Black's favor ever because of how weak his king is, and I think that we might see Ding taking down the first game. He has to win this. It's a must-win game.
It's a
Must-win
must-win game.
game.
Knight H6 now. G H6, Queen G4 and Queen G7 mate. Will he
But
play
there's
it?
Queen G5, so have to be careful. But the D7 rook is hanging, so maybe something like that. He goes Bishop
Is
G7, which
Bishop
is
G7
and
and
just
Queen
Queen
G4.
G4.
Now the Queen is
Yeah.
hanging.
But now you see again, he's messed up. He's messed up again,
Wow.
Soumya.
The Queen is trapped, Harshit.
What a miss! If he cannot win such a position, Soumya, it's going to be almost impossible for him to win this match as Nihal is extremely tricky. Knight takes D3 is a free piece, and Queen H5, King Knight F4 back, and the Queen is still has the same problems. Queen G4, but F5 and
This is just over. I think Ding lost that thread after losing the connection, and he's not been able to get his form back at all so far.
yeah.
This is
Queen
Black
F6,
has 3 pieces for a rook and 3 pawns.
Knight
So,
H3, Soumya.
oh, and Queen F2 will be pre-moved.
Have to feel bad for Ding. Have to feel bad for Ding for not winning such a winning position. But we know Nihal is extremely resourceful and manages to win that one. So I think the match is about to be decided now with 4 points up. Have to feel for Ding. Very very disappointed there, but Nihal as always showing very good play.
Yes, definitely. Ding, it's difficult to even look look at him suffering this way. You cannot imagine a player like Ding not being able to convert that position. Clearly, something has gone very wrong emotionally after that. After that connection dropped.
Yeah, guys, what is your go-to thing to do when you don't perform well? I don't know, in academics or in any sports. How do you usually come back? I'm very curious to see how the chat has their own way of responding to like tough situations.
Great question. And if at all they don't have one, they'll at least get ideas from their friends in the chat. So that's a great question to ask, Harshit. I'm also curious. And here, long castle seems to be a good idea. Or do you want to save the bishop and allow e4? No, he plays rook d1, not long castle, but rook to d1, so that he keeps the option of short castle. F6, supporting the e5 pawn, but even rook d5 might be
An option. Queen C6 though.
okay.
Still well
Short
covered.
castle.
Castles. Maybe
And
Bishop E6.
bishop e6, is it possible? We give
Yeah.
up the pawn, but we
B7.
get it
Yeah.
back on d2, b2, but bishop c7 by Ding.
Mhm.
Ding playing very principled chess. It's just that the time situation is not favoring him in this match at all. Very, very good chess by Ding so far, at least in this game. A5 maybe. Queen c6. Exchanging the bishops. Black has a pair of bishops, so he wants to play a strategic endgame. Oh, knight d4.
Very tricky,
Fantastic
very
resource.
tricky. Always Nihal. Bishop d7 runs into knight b5. So goes rook b8. Maybe something like b3.
Knight c6 and knight e7 would also be fine, but b4 was played. Rook b6 supporting the pawn. Knight b3. Bishop e6 was possible, but then
3 bishop
queen
f2. Very
c7.
nice idea.
Rook a2 forced. And a2 is attacked. So rook d1, bishop c7, rook d2, bishop e6, knight c5, and rook a2.
Knight e6. There is rook a1 check. Wow.
Oh, that was great. Great spot there. Bishop b3 would run into bishop a7. So that's why he plays a5 first, exchanging the pieces, and a2 will be hanging in the end. He wants to keep the rooks. He wants to keep the rooks. Oh no, he
Oh,
has
but this is
exchanged the rook. So this is
if he
very,
exchanges
very
the rook,
equal.
yeah, this is going to be a draw. F4. Yeah, I don't know why Ding did that because now he has no winning chances at all.
Because rook d7 and bishop g6, bishop f8 was the problem. But
H4
yeah,
now, yeah, it's the H4 is just an easy draw. Yeah,
yes,
Ding knows it, and he's at this point he has to win all the games to have a chance, Soumya. Otherwise,
yes.
Nihal is completely winning. And we have very interesting answers. Priyank Kumar says, I go to Sahara Mountain. Joy for a bit says, suppress anger and deal every problem bit by it. An amazing answer by Joy for a bit. Abhinav says there's always another chance. I agree. And thinking about worse scenario than current situation, says Shashi. Very, very interesting answers by everyone, guys. Samayana is interesting. I have this 5 minutes theory which won't work here. So move away from that space for 5 minutes. Question whether it was controllable or not and try to accept it. Initially, it is very tough, but it helps. So, Soumya, very, very amazing ways suggested in the chat here. And Nihal is just playing it all out. He's going to play this for 50 moves. Take all the time off the clock because he knows that he wants to improve his chances as much as he can. He does actually make a draw. Could have taken.
Finally, after a 99 move battle, they have drawn. And by the way, I really like the answers in the chat. And I think one of the things I always tell myself is there are two things which I could relate to. One was thinking about a worse scenario than the current one. Yeah, I think there are always things to be grateful for, even in the when things go bad, because there can always be worse. So that's something I also do. And then another thing I also liked was there's always another chance. That's also something I tell myself. What about you, Harshit? How do you deal with the situation? Oh, and one more thing I learned recently, I must share this, is that when you make a mistake, the first thing to do is to forgive yourself.
Mhm.
And I think that really helps. This is something I learned recently, but I think it's a very good mindset to have, because the problem is not others. The problem is we ourselves are so hard on ourselves, and that makes the next step also more difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harshit, I would be interested to know how do you deal with tough situations and how do you come back?
I just don't get into the situations. So my life is very easy.
You just go and sit and meditate on the Sahara mountain.
Yeah.
And life
Sahara
is
desert.
great. अच्छा अभी डेजर्ट हो गया हाँ ओके अपने it's as per your convenience.
Soumya getting back. Now, Queen e4 d4 could be an interesting idea.
Yeah,
And
I have been
plays
wanting to
it.
sacrifice this rook for this bishop so that I get out of all kinds of. But here g6 bishop f5 I'll really like, but the c6 knight is hanging. So maybe knight e7. What about this move? Knight
Interesting. Very
e7
interesting idea.
play
Very
bishop
interesting.
f5.
Yeah.
Oh, rook b2, he goes for it. He also
Likes the idea.
feeling a bit desperate. Oh no, he plays
No, it just goes
g6.
g6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So d5 will be met with bishop f f5. Sorry, bishop f5, and you want to take the bishop. Yeah, I like this for maybe bishop a4. Bishop a4 could be a good move here.
Bishop a4, and then maybe e into d4 could be very nasty. No?
Oh yeah, e into
What?
d4 and queen d5. Again, nice. I like what Ding is doing. Whether it works or not, we will find out
I
very
think he's
soon.
just blundering, Soumya.
Are you
I think he's
serious?
just blundering. Yeah, black is completely winning. I mean, he's just completely winning. C into bishop into c6, and um, what was bishop
I think
c6?
he had
Again, a
to.
big
I think
blunder
he
by
had to.
Nihal.
I'm not able to understand that well because it's too fast. But let's
Yeah,
just
let's say,
stick to the current
0.6
position.
seconds. Oh my God.
Queen c2, and Nihal is now 2 pawns down after.
He's a piece
Why is
down.
he taking on c7? Oh, he's a piece down. Sorry, he's a piece down, and basically it's a worse position for black. White is winning, but white has no time, and that's the reason black could also win this game on time, as we have seen a few times now. Bishop a7, a6. Very important win here for Ding in case he gets it in.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can convert it. Knight d6, king b2, king d7, knight e5, king e7, king b3, rook e4, knight c4 might be the move. Okay. Now knight c5, blocking the bishop's path. You want to play a7, and there is no rook a2. So a8 queen. Oh, Ding still, Nihal not resigning.
Yeah, just taking
c5,
time. Soumya, just taking time
c5.
off the match clock.
Wow. Yeah, because of the time factor, because they have how many 13 minutes left, so they can play 6 more games, and Nihal extending the game as much as possible. 3-point lead still going for Nihal Sarin, but Ding feeling a little better there after one win after a long time. But Ding looks really upset, Harshit.
Yeah, and Soumya,
From his
they can actually, if they play a long game, a game can even last 3 to 4 minutes with this increment. So I think that there are only 3 more games remaining, Soumya.
Oh, that's a good point there, Harshit, that it's not just 1 minute game, it's actually 1+1. So, for example, the 99 move draw that they played took maybe 3-4 minutes
Yeah,
already. So
Nihal just
actually not many chances for Ding to come back in this game unless he wins all the remaining games now.
Yeah, Nihal, I think if Nihal manages to win or draw this game, he almost secures the victory in this match, Soumya. So, an important game for Nihal to not lose, and a very important game for Ding to win.
A4 will be played. B4 will be met with C4. If you take, I take back with the queen. Yes, C4, and you want to push your
Again,
pawns ahead.
see, before such a, it's definitely not the best move, as gives white total control of the center. And Soumya just knight f3, but he goes for c5 as well, and white has taken over the initiative.
This is a great position for Nihal, but Ding very desperate. He needs to at least win this game. He cannot make draws. He knows that, so he's just going for it. By the way, both the clocks are
Now,
also equal. Oh,
knight e5, beautiful, and now it's
oh,
just
this is over. This is
yeah.
actually over. I mean, he's an exchange down, and also really bad position for black. Okay.
And Soumya, Croatia has equalized against Brazil in the World
Wow.
Cup. In the quarterfinals, 1-1, Neymar scored the first goal and Croatia has equalized. So, also very interesting matchup going on meanwhile.
Side by side. But Nihal here providing all the fun. Harshit, Nihal having all the fun in this match. He has won 13 games so far for Ding's Nayan, and maybe only 1 or 2 games left. Nihal Sarin taking the match away. He will probably go through to the semifinals. This is brilliant.
Yeah, and Soumya, maybe after this match finishes, we could have the penalties between Croatia and Brazil.
on the screen. Yeah, it will be fun. Oh God, that's hilarious. C6. Um, and D5 is black's idea. So white plays C4, rook a D8, insisting to play D5 at some point. D3 pawn will be a weakness. We saw similar games in the previous speed championship as well between Nihal and Anish. Um, Nihal loves to play E4, E5, by the way. It's one of his
Yeah,
main
very, very
weapons.
solid. And Nihal just needs the draw somewhere to clinch this match. He knows it himself.
So
Uh,
E4 is a target. Now knight E5 would not be such a great move because of F4. But what does black have? Bishop B8 and D5 could be an option.
yeah. And Soumya, Rakesh makes an amazing comment. Don't know about Brazil, but Nihal is all set to go into the semis. Totally agree. Bishop takes d4, played queen e6, is playing very, very solidly, Soumya. And
Yes.
now knight e5, maybe.
Knight E5 attacking the C4 pawn. Great spot. Knight D7 he goes for. So he wants to forcibly put a knight on E5. Knight to F5, F6. Is E5 possible?
Rook e3, rook g3. Nice idea, nice idea.
But the
Knight
knight
e5,
on
rook g3.
E5 very strong. Now queen into C4 will not be possible because H7 G6 hangs.
Now
So
h4,
H4
h5. Superb idea, superb idea.
is a
8
very good
seconds.
game by Ding so far. Will he get 1 point in uh, and get himself some chances to perhaps turn the match around? So Nihal has given up a piece for
Yeah, given up a
3
piece for
pawns.
some pawns.
Actually, quite a few pawns. B4 and A4 also hanging. He has already won 3 pawns. He might win a few more.
Yeah.
Knight D4, knight B2. No, rook E7, rook E4 coming in. Okay, G6, rook H1. Rook H1, king G7, F5, controlling E4. You want to put your rook to E4. B5 is an idea that white has, but he's not going for it.
Yeah,
It's
not
not
at all
easy.
easy.
It's not at all easy. D6 and D5 will also be played. Oh, the king has been centralized. Nihal Sarin in his element. Rook
h4,
D4.
g5. Beautiful.
He could even take over now, Harshit, with
For
G4
sure,
and
for sure.
H3
So
coming
many
in.
pawns, Soumya. We just need one pawn to queen. एक ही pawn queen होना चाहिए.
That's true. And knight F2, a good defensive move there by Ding, but G4 and H3 coming in looks very difficult for white actually.
All the way, Soumya. All the way to the 8th rank. Let's go.
Oh, B4 also hanging. This is
D4, yeah. I
very,
mean,
very
these
difficult.
pawns,
Rook
when they
C3,
start rolling, they are very
F4,
hard to stop.
King F5, rook D2, F3, and G3, and G2 coming in. King F4 was not possible. Rook was hanging, so he saved it. Actually, oh, black won on
Black
time.
one on time, and Soumya, this is all over. Nihal is up 5 points with six
Wow.
minutes left on the clock, and Nihal has won basically this match against Ding Liren going into the semi-finals. Soumya, what an amazing performance by Nihal. Still 6 minutes left, but the match, I think, honestly, Soumya has been decided.
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful performance. Very confident performance by Nihal. I think at some point after the eighth or ninth game, he just took over the match, and Ding really suffering there. He just wants to get the match over with.
Yeah, and
H3, DC, knight C4. I mean, I do feel for him. CD, knight D5. Because it's always tough to see a player like Ding Liren suffer. You don't expect that, and when that happens, it's a little, it's a little unpleasant. But the good news here is that Nihal will play against the speed legend Hikaru Nakamura in the semis. Oh, that's a possibility because Hikaru is yet to play. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Hikaru has to win against Aronian. So whoever wins that match will face Nihal in the semis. And if Nihal goes through, then there is a possibility that he could play against Magnus because Magnus plays against Fabi in the semis, and that's how it goes. So good chances.
White won by resignation?
I don't know. I think he doesn't want to play.
I think there was knight d4 actually coming in.
What happened? Why is the bar so going crazy? Wait, sorry. Let me just fix this.
Yeah, and now 6 points up, Soumya. This might be the last game that we see. Ding's definitely super frustrated, just wants to get rid of this match already. And on the other hand, it's going to be penalty shootout between Brazil and Croatia, Soumya.
Whom are you supporting, Harshit? King h8. Queen g5. So Ding just wants to take a draw and be done with it. Queen d8. Rook fd8.
D8. Yeah.
Will be played. Knight d2. Rook b1, b4 is a nice idea here for white. No, knight f1, knight e3 is going to be played. Chris Keynes, Nihal casually hanging out in the semis with Hikaru, Wesley, and Magnus. Inconsistently, what a player. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think Nihal going into the semis might not be a big surprise for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think at this point, after winning the Tata Steel and getting runner-up in the CGC, Soumya, I am not surprised at all. Nihal is an exceptionally strong player and proving just why once again in this match. And Soumya, if you look at it, CGC में भी उसने अनीश को हराया और डिंग को हराया, and वापस we are seeing the same.
Yes. And what about Wesley? Is he still? Yes, he also won his game against Abdul Sattarov. So he is also in the bracket.
Yeah.
So we could actually see an action replay of the CGC.
Yeah. Soumya, will you be watching the penalties?
I think I'll sleep, Rakesh. I'm a little sleep deprived.
My name is Harshit.
No, I saw, yes, you asked me the question, but Rakesh said in the chat, and I read that simultaneously, that thanks to Nihal for winning early, so we can see the penalties comfortably. Yeah, both of you, that's the answer. But yeah, cool. So whom are you rooting for? Tell me that.
I mean, Brazil is of course the big favorite. Yeah, I think he's just done with this.
Yeah, he's done with the match.
Yeah, I mean, I like, of course, Brazil is the favorites, but I like rooting for the underdogs. So I will be rooting for Croatia.
And between Morocco and Portugal, whom are you rooting for?
I know whom you are rooting for, Soumya.
But tell me whom you are rooting for.
I am again rooting for the underdogs, Morocco.
Oh, nice.
Because Soumya, we actually met the goalkeeper of Morocco in Kochi.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. He was in our camp in La Liga.
What is his name?
The Moroccan goalkeeper who saved against. His name is Yassine Bounu.
We met him.
Yes.
Did we play a simul against him? Because we played a simul against a few players.
Yes.
So he plays chess.
He played chess with us, I think.
So he can play chess.
I don't know.
Well, he played with us, so we definitely taught him something.
You taught him the amazing classical defense.
Probably. I remember teaching, we had a small session with the footballers. So it was the Girona Football Club. So I think he played for the Girona Football Club, but he was not the goalkeeper, no?
He was the goalkeeper.
He was only the goalkeeper that time also.
Yeah.
time is up and Nihal Sarin is through, but a game is still being played.
Yeah.
So we need to finish it. Bishop f3, rook f3. Objectively, this position is equal because the pawn on d5 is a weakness. Oh, Nihal Sarin offered a draw and Liren declined. Perhaps he didn't see the draw offer. That's possible.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just wants to play a game. I don't know what's happening. Rook h1. Bishop c2, h4. Take g3 will be met with bishop g5 and rook h2. Oh no, f4 you have. Okay, then rook h2 maybe. Rook h3. So black has some chances now, and so does white, because bishop d5, rook h2. Oh, rook g1, very good defensive move, because now we have king e1. Oh no, that neither. He just goes rook g2. But again, this is getting tricky, because you can double on the first rank. So rook g. Oh,
double
F4.
or nothing, Soumya. Double or nothing.
That was the point. F4 was the point, Harshit. I did not see that. King f3 and rook is blundered. No, because this rook was also hanging. So no blunders there. All the blunders only being made by the commentators here.
And I think Nihal has ended up a pawn, and he might just want to finish the match. Rook c7 is coming in.
Yeah, and I think he might even win one more game. So
yeah, and increase his bullet rating, which I know he's very fond of.
Oh, this is a mating idea. Bishop g8.
Yeah. Even bishop f3 is nice. That. To go g4, g5. Bishop f3. Nice.
Oh, king f6 and bishop g8.
I think bishop f3, g4, g5 is nice.
Oh, bishop f3, g4, g5. Okay, okay. He likes my idea more, Harshit.
But what, Soumya? Now king is running.
Oh, bishop d1.
And now g4, g5.
G4, nice. G5. Oopsie.
Okay.
And now he'll take a2. And oops.
And now the king is just trapped. So all bishop rook.
Oh my god, what a beautiful checkmate in the end. What a way to finish the match against Liren and qualify for the semi-finals.
Superb, Soumya. Super happy with this. Super happy with this. मजा आ गया Soumya, मजा आ गया.
और वो निहाल सरीन नहीं है स्क्रीन पर, वो कोई और है, but that's the format, guys, and this is us. So you got all the whole deal there, and yes, definitely मजा आ गया. I think निहाल starting problem हुआ as usual उनको इस match में, लेकिन बाद में at some point he just got back into the match and he never let it go. Ding, on the other hand, could never recover from that loss, that time trouble loss that he had. After that, he just couldn't get going.
Yeah. Hip hip hooray, Soumya. Hip hip hooray.
So also we saw this amazing commentary by Harshit today in American accent, and hopefully वो आपका कभी भी permanent accent नहीं होगा, even though we really enjoyed it. So
much fun, Soumya.
Are we having any player interviews, or
let's ask
what's happening? Let's ask the producer and chat. आपको कैसे लगा match? If you liked it, do like the stream so that more and more people get notified about our boy Nihal Sarin beating a legend like Liren and going to the semis of the SCC. Okay then. We have decided to take a quick break now, because we might get an interview with Nihal. So let's just take a quick energy break and we'll be back soon.
Thanks all, by the way. See you.
See you. Bye bye. He's not. We are live. Oh yeah, we are back. Okay. So thank you guys, everyone, because we might get Nihal, but in case we don't, then we just want to thank you all for sticking with us. And this has been a lot of fun. I also want to thank Srinath, who was my co-host in the first half, and of course Harshit, and our producers Rakesh and Niranjan, who do everything to make this happen, to make this beautiful stream come to you guys. And of course, to our chat and our moderators for doing such a great job.
Yep.
So, bye bye, guys. See you. And Rakesh is updating us that Brazil is out, but the main update is.
Let's go. 2 wins, guys. Nihal and Croatia. All right. I have to go and watch that now. I will sign out. See you guys.
Okay, then. Bye, guys. See you. See you, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye. Hi guys, thank you for sticking around. So unfortunately, we cannot get Nihal on the stream, but I have some news for you that Nihal is likely to play his semi-final match on the 15th of December against the winner of Aronian versus Hikaru. That match will happen on 12th of December. Whoever wins that match qualifies to the semis against Nihal, most likely to be played on 15th of December at 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So that's something we are really looking forward to. This is the bracket that we have on the screen, the SCC bracket, and Nihal Sarin, the lone Indian, through to the semis in such a strong field. This has been a great night. Thank you so much, chat, for sticking around. और जी कौशिक पूछ रहे हैं एक नॉर्मल मेंबरशिप दिला दो राकेश भाई. ठीक है कौशिक जी, आप एक काम कीजिएगा, आप अरोनियन और हिकारू का स्कोर प्रेडिक्ट कीजिए कमेंट्स में, एंड इफ यू आर राइट वी विल गिव यू अ डायमंड मेंबरशिप. We will announce it in the semis. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Others in the chat can also participate, and let's see if one of you gets it right. We will give you a diamond membership. So do write in the comments the score between Aronian and Hikaru. See you guys. Thank you so much. Have a really good night. Bye bye.